should thank all the members who have been supportive to conduct this, especially the volunteers from all who has contributed. And big thanks to Kamdin Madam, who has been always there for with us for the ICI supporting. We welcome our past chairperson, Shruti Shah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, this is a different flavor we wanted to have. Power of women at work. And you have been in the power a couple of years back as a chairperson of WIC. I think with the right person to give the keynote address. So we'll just have Mishra ji play the motto and let's start the event.
येष सुप्तेषु जागृति येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यति कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you, everybody. Over to you, Dipti.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then our chairperson the keyboard address, and Kamdin will start the panel discussion. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all of you, to be here, and let's enjoy the session of Bar of Women at Work.
Thank you, Shravani, madam. First of all, thank you to you for organizing such a wonderful program, 15 days program, coming up with the concept for women empowerment. And so good afternoon to one and all. Today we have got a galaxy of panelists, and today galaxy of panelists with us. We have CA Shruti Shah, past chairperson of WIRC with us. We welcome you, ma'am, in today's session. And we have CA Bahroze Kamdin as the moderator of today's panel discussion on program on networking with industry colleagues. So in the panel discussion, we have got the dignitaries from different fields. We have CA Subhangi Sonam, CA Aparajita Sarkar, and Dr. CA Pinky Agarwal with us. So welcome you all in today's session of WIRC. And now I welcome all the participants also for joining us today. And we would like to have a very interactive session with you all together with our panelists. Now I request CA Shruti Shah, past chairperson of WIRC, to welcome our today's participants and panelists. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dipti, and I thank WIRC for giving me this opportunity. In fact, always we have been talking about women empowerment, but if you see the statistics, the growth of CA women has been fantastic during the last decade. If you see the statistics, it's like earlier in 2010, it was 12% of the total number of chartered accountants, whereas now it's 28%. So the growth, if you see the participation of women in our CA profession is great. And I'm sure that with the current scenario where we all can work from home, the situation which has changed will bring more and more CA women into this profession. Having said this, today we have specifically concentration on women in industries and what are the challenges they face. So, sorry, extremely sorry for this. It's all yeah, so I was here like about how women in industry perceive and what are the challenges they face and how do we network. During my tenure in council for about a decade, I have interacted with a lot of women CAs in industries as well, more in practice, but less in women in industry. So first challenge among women in industry, or rather I would say all members in industry, is that they participate very less in our institute activities, and they take less of opportunities which are provided by institute for networking. So I would really urge those present over here to take benefits of what all networking opportunities are provided by institute. That is first and foremost. Second, I have been interacting with a lot of women in industry, and the main challenge which they face is about the work-life balance. And we really today we can bring some solutions to that, or maybe we can give some insight into how they can balance this. No doubt during this work. Just hello. I cannot take a call right now. I'll call it. Yeah. So, so main challenge which members in industry face is about the balance, and given the 24 hours, how to balance between the profession and their other responsibilities. So that's where today's session can give some insight on the exposure which our panelists have and the experience they can share. At the same time, it is also very important for women in industry to have some qualities, to develop certain qualities which can help them in networking. While we have male counterparts in our organizations, it's very important how we network with them. Whom do we network with them? Do we do some homework on which male counterpart can support us? How to create an environment which can help us in an organization to support the members, to women members. So these are all qualities which needs to be developed by a woman CA, and of course, a leadership role. We need to create an environment where a leadership role by a woman is acceptable by the male counterpart. While we see there are a lot of differences when there is a question of networking, we see male generally talk about either alcohol or during their alcohol party or during the sports meet. Whereas it's completely different when we as female meet up. We talk more about how household affairs, we talk more about our kids, more about our family. So that's the basic difference when we all meet. आरती ये फोन लेना जरा. आई एम सो सॉरी फॉर दिस. आरती ये फोन ले, उसको बोलो अभी मैडम बात नहीं कर सकते. So it's very important to develop those skills. We need to inculcate in us the qualities which are expected by male also, and at the same time we have to make male also aware about it, that what we as female are expecting from males when it comes to networking. We need to have some knowledge about sports, some knowledge about other aspects which male are discussing, so that we can be part of that discussion. No doubt there are a lot of hiccups also. Well, I'll share the experience where when I was doing audit during my initial stages, one of the company, they didn't had any female washroom. So how do we manage that? So that was becoming very difficult for the whole day when you are doing audit and you don't have female washroom. So in fact, we have to force them to have a female washroom. So this kind of issues are there. And one very big experience which I can share when I become a chairperson, generally on the cabin, it was always mentioned as chairman cabin. The email ID would always have chairman at wirc.icai. And I was saying that, no, now we have a lady as a leading the WRC, and we should have the nomenclature as chairperson. And I'm so happy that now there are so many female coming up as in a leadership role, and this chairperson is continuing. So yeah, there are little challenges in industry, but I think we have all powers to prove ourselves. I wouldn't say that prove ourselves, but being ourselves. And that's what we have to do. And I'm sure the panelist is very experienced and learned, and they will share their experience, and our participant will get more insight into this aspect. Thank you very much once again, Deepthi and all coordinator, and Kapoor madam, WRC, for inviting me for that. Thank you so much. Over to coordinator.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful enlightening words. Really, very nicely you have briefed your experience in very short, that we must have some knowledge about the topics in which our male counterpart is also interested, because this will help us to communicate and to bond with them in a better way. So all your words, every line which you shared with us is really worth it and very meaningful for all of us to move ahead in the corporate in corporates in our professional career. Thank you very much. And so friends, today we have the galaxy of panelists with us. CA Dr. Pinky ma'am is there, Aparajita ma'am is there, and Subhangi ma'am is there. So here I take the, and for moderating them, we have very learned Bahroze ma'am with us. So here I take the privilege to introduce this three Murti, the very learned three musketeers of our today's session. So let me start with Pinky ma'am. Pinky ma'am is a chartered accountant with a doctoral degree in commerce, having post-qualification experience of 24 years in profound knowledge in financial reporting and accounting. She is certified trainer from ICI in the field of GST and accounting system. She has conducted certificate courses and training programs on securities market organized by the Committee on Capital Market and Investors Protection. Recently, she has awarded the Best Research Paper Award at 8th Asia Pacific Business Research Conference 2021 and second prize for case study titled SAI Sustainable Agro Transforming Lives of Small and Marginal Farmers of Raigarh District, Odisha at Transforming Rural Ecosystem Conclave 2021. Ma'am, we would like to know more about this from your side. She has also co-authored books in International Financial Management and Accounting for Managers. She has presented papers in NITI and IIT and published articles and papers in various national international journals. So with these words, ma'am, it's a great honor to have you in our today's panel discussion. Now, quickly moving on to our Aparajita ma'am. Aparajita ma'am has qualified in 1993, and she is a certified public accountant from USA in 2001. She started her career with Godrej and joined TCS in 2007. She heads the Technical Excellence Group in financial reporting there. She has been an invited member to the accounting standard boards and various study groups of ICI. So we also have the privilege to listen to Aparajita ma'am, and quick takeaways we will get in today's session from her side. And quickly moving on to Subhangi ma'am. Subhangi ma'am has been assumed charge as Executive Director F&A on 1st June 2020. And she joined the corporation in 1985 at the age of 23 as Direct Recruit Officer from a batch of chartered accountants. During her stint as Research Associate at NIA, she completed research in comparative study of accounting and reporting standards for insurance industry and international approach. She authored and presented research paper in international conference organized by NIA and FICCI. As a CA with virtuous experience at LIC, she is a visiting faculty to various training centers and ICAI. She has participated in strategic management and leadership programs at ISB Hyderabad, IIM Ahmedabad, NIA Pune, and NUS Singapore. Prior to her present position, she was regional manager F&A at WZ, Secretary F&A at CEO, Chief Investment Operations, Chief F&A, and has been designated CFO since 2018. Recently, in the year 20, felicitated and honored as India's top honored women in finance in the leading category by Association of International Wealth Management of India. So today we have got a galaxy of panelists and we are going to have a super rocking session with all of them. So here coming to our today's moderator, CA Bahroze Kamdin, and Madam, she is a partner with Deloitte India. Bahroze is a commerce graduated and a chartered accountant with over 27 years of experience in corporate and international taxation. She has always been in professional services firm and has worked with BSR and Company and AF Ferguson and Company. And she is a prolific writer of articles and regular speaker at webinars on topics of tax and regulations relating to financial services sector. And she has conducted various workshops with Indian Banks Association, Life Council, and also written several articles and chapters on FATCA and or CRS in a book. So New Delhi Institute of Management has conferred her with the Business Excellence and Innovative Best Practices Academia Award 2019, and she has been recognized in the category of leading in top 100 women in finance 2019 by the Association of International Wealth Management of India. So today we have got writers, authors, awardees, national, international awardees with us. So definitely we are going to have a rocking and a very nice learning time with you all. So with these words, I hand over the session to our today's moderator, Bahroze ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dipti. Thank you, Mrs. Kapoor. Thank you, Suti. I think the Institute is always a privilege to be part of such sessions at the Institute. And it's an honor today to be your moderator for a panelist. I mean, illustrious ladies, the way you've spoken about them, I think they're too good. So I thank you and I'm humbled to be a moderator for this panel today. So before we start our session, and generally I like to understand our panelists better, I have one quick question to all our panelists, and thank you for taking your time off and being here with us today. So a quick thing which comes to mind when you hear the word networking. So maybe with Subhangi, if we can start on it, as to what comes to mind when you hear the word networking.
Yeah, thank you, Bahroze. Thanks, first of all, for nice introduction. Thanks, West India Regional Council, for giving me this opportunity being on this panel. Otherwise, our usual office work keeps me too busy throughout. When it comes to network, the first and single word comes to my mind is connect. Networking is connecting with people around you. It could be formal interaction with people or informal way, but basically connecting with people. That's something I feel talking about.
Okay. And Aparajita, what comes to your mind when you hear networking?
Yes, thank you all for being, for a privilege to be here. And I would just put an addition to what Subhangi said right now. So I would say not only connecting people, but also connecting people with ideas, people with opportunities. So that is what comes to my mind.
Good. And Pinky, hi Pinky.
Hi, thanks a lot. I really thank everyone and the wonderful introduction by CA Dipti. So for me, networking means surrounded by the people who cheer on, who are positive.
I think that's too good. So we had connecting with ideas and opportunities, and surroundings. It's also very well. And when it comes to me, whenever I hear the word networking, I don't know why, but somehow the picture of a computer comes to my mind. Computer with all those wires and all the networks. And when it realizes that it's so important to have that network for that computer. So I feel even for us, whenever that word networking comes, it says it's something which is required, something which you have to have in your daily life. And that's something which comes to my mind. So how we are going to be discussing today is that we will have some sort of videos also being there, some polling questions also we've kept if it works through. And you'll have to bear with us on technology. And Pinky will also share certain presentation slides. So to start with, I thought, let's understand what is networking. So I'm going to share a video. Please tell me if you can see my screen. Uh, 2 minutes you'll have to give me. I can't see the video. There's so many slides which are open now. I can't see the video only. How do you? I'm so sorry. I think I need to close a few slides, only then it will come through. Oh, sorry, screen sharing has stopped. Do I have the right to share the screen?
Ma'am, we are unable to see your screen also. Please try sharing it again. You have the co-host rights.
Yeah.
It's visible now.
It's visible now.
Yeah. Close this. We are able to see a Google screen actually. Acha, this video you are trying to play. Okay. Please, ma'am, make it full screen.
You can see, but you can see it?
Yeah, we can see it. Make it full screen. And before that, you have to share the sound. Give the option of sharing the sound. Otherwise, we'll not be able to. Yeah.
You're not able to?
Now it's audible, ma'am. Please play it. Play it.
You want to make a friend, but you fear that you'll be ignored, starting to sweat. You're feeling alone. Pretend to read a text on your cell phone. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at ya. Networking event, and there's a keynote after. There's little groups, everyone is busy talking. You walk up to one, but then you just continue walking. You panic, it's go time, it's time to mingle. It's like Valentine's Day, but you're feeling really single. There's someone standing by themselves, now it's time for action, time for the show. But you don't really want to go. We're the schmoozers with the shmoo and schmooze, while they're sipping complimentary booze. Stand like an emu, no one will talk to you. Ooh, networking event tonight. They're extroverts, they're here to win. We're the rock stars of LinkedIn. Watching them parlez-vous, what are you gonna do? Ooh, networking event tonight. Networking events. You can't. Catch someone's eye and you bite back your fight or flight. Networking events. Hope they don't suspect you're a networking troglodyte. Don't blow it there, standing like they're smiling at ya. You fake it, they'll know it, and they're gonna catch ya. You take a deep breath and you suck back your fear. You remember your icebreaker and say, hey, what brings you here?
Well, I'm a successful and talented business person looking to make valuable connections.
Me too.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhearing. Are you talented and successful business people looking to make valuable connections?
We are.
Want to exchange business cards?
We do. Networking event tonight. The networking event is here. The hour that I used to fear, but now it's once more into the breach. With my elevator speech, the networking event is here. It's something that you have to fear. Suck it up and you're gonna see. This is where you wanna be. This is where I wanna be. Where the schmoozers with the schmooze. Where the introverts are paying their dues. Impossible comes through, someone will notice you. Ooh, networking event tonight. You light it up, you work the crowd. You make Dale Carnegie proud. Look what you do, you networking person, you. Ooh, networking event tonight. Networking event tonight. Networking event.
So hope you like it. And I think this is summarizing the entire thing that we are going to be discussing today. To say how we threaded it and how we did it and now how we are successful. So I think that's the whole crux of our discussion today. And I'll now ask Pinky to share her thoughts on it. And Pinky, would you be able to share your screen or should I do it?
I am doing it.
Okay.
I hope my slides are visible. It's visible.
We can't see it yet. Maybe, am I having the problem? Can you, Aparajita, can you see her screen? Yeah, it's there. We can see it now.
Yeah.
Pinky, you can start. We can see your screen.
But actually, I cannot see my screen. So sometimes it happens, you see and I cannot see.
Also, should I share your presentation then?
Yeah, if you can. You have my
Yes.
that PPT.
Yes, I have it.
I'm stopping the share.
Yeah, you stop your share.
Okay. Thanks a lot. So, so we are ready for every challenges. So we prepared ourselves beforehand only, and thanks to Bahroze, I can say, it is visible. Now the slides are visible.
Yes.
So today's topic: networking with industry colleagues, power of women at work. So we as a team, actually, this is our viewpoints. So since we are celebrating International Women's Day, so I want to quote a few lines related to women, the importance of women. Like this is a very famous quote, Janani Janma Bhumischa Sarvagavadepi Garyasi. Mother and motherlands are superior even to heaven. And again, one very famous quote, Vinastriya Jananam Nasti, Vinastriya Gamanam Nasti, Vinastriya Srishti E Nasti. This is all about women. Without women, there is no birth. Without women, there is no vision. Without women, there is no life. Without women, there is no world at all. So, महिला है देश की तरक्की का आधार. उनके प्रति बदलो अपने विचार. So, it's rightly quoted, or you can say said by CA Shruti Shah, our past chairperson. We really faced a lot of challenges when we cleared a CA. So I also belong to that era where really there was no washroom for females. And when we used to go for bank audit, we really used to face a lot of problems. So I belong from Eastern region. So Patna, Gaya, that was a challenge with the bank manager. Means it was really very difficult to visit the banks also. They were not in a state to visit also. So the last quote about women is "Beti par abhiman karo, janm hone par samman karo, beti bachegi, shrishti rachegi." So with this, we now celebrate our International Women's Day, and thanks to our Western Region of Council CA, that means they are organizing such a wonderful programs related to women. So our today's topic is with networking. Why networking? Why we have to do networking? The first question, because I think sometimes we do not prioritize this networking. Okay, that goes to the back seat. Okay, the priorities are let us finish our work, let us do all other works, and then networking we can do the last. But if we see the exact reason why the networking should be done, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. That's the beauty of networking. So networking isn't how many people you know, it's how many people knows you. So that you should know how many people knows you. That is the you can say the beauty of networking. If you are a networking person, of course a lot of people will know and talk about you. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. So that is I told you we are looking for work. Okay, let's finish this work. But if you really want to become successful and richest in the world, you should build networks. So here being we all belong to CA fraternity and of course finance fraternity. So these quotes will really explain the beauty of network. That is, your network is your net worth. So networking is an investment in your business. It takes time, and when done correctly, can yield great results for years to come. So it's not means a fast process. Okay, now I'm going to meet people. They are going to, I'm going to build the network, and what will happen? It is going to yield the benefits. It's not like that. It's a very slow process. You have to go slow and steady. You have to be persistent. But what happens? Your first and primary goal should be networking if you really want to sustain in this world. So let us know what is the importance of networking. So networking not only helps you building the network, it actually helps you. Means it's an array of benefits, you can say. It includes learning. So if you meet a lot of people, means maybe every day, or also occasionally also, you tend to learn a lot of things. It's not related to business also. It's related to all other things which are included in your day-to-day life. So networking helps you to learn. It's a source of information. So you get a lot of information, what is happening around the world. You may be very busy in your present work, and you may not be aware of what is happening, say in your peer groups, in your peer companies, or say other world also. If you want to switch over to another job also, so you're not aware of that. Okay, what can be the other means the different ways you can just provide the serve the society also. So a lot of information comes through networking. If you want your salary growth, if you want to be innovative, and if you want to get your things done, do networking. So this is this is the whole crux of networking, we can say. So here what happens, it's not about connecting, you can say, people with people. It is actually replanting relationship. You need to replant, revisit them, and this is how you actually establish relationship. So here what happens, how to you want to develop your networking. Say I most of the time I love to actually teach. So I'm more or less confined to academics. So how I build my network, let me share my experience with you all. So yeah, how it helps me, the networking has helped me a lot. Like for example, what is happening around me, what are the different. So I am an ardent researcher, I really love to research. So if I just stick to the old type of researches, okay, accounting system, like I did my PhD in accounting system of global local bodies. So if I stick to that type of topics only, people will not recognize me. Okay, one day I will not be, means okay, I will not be called only. So, but if I keep on updating myself, so here networking helped me to what is the recent topics which I can choose for research, like for example, fintech, cryptocurrency, blockchains. These are the different areas which really demanding a lot of time for research. So this helps me to means know all the latest updated things which are coming in the finance world. This is the beauty. Then what happens here? Networking. How I can go for networking? I always try to always enroll myself for conferences, guest lectures, so that I can get myself updated there. So conferences and guest lectures. Again, whenever I'm going to conferences, I try to meet new people. I do not stick to those people who are my colleagues. So I try to meet new people and gather information from them. Sometimes it helps me to actually develop a new topic of research. Again, when I'm developing my research, it's not that it's an individual work. I need to collaborate. So like, for example, right now I got an idea, okay, I should collaborate with Subhangi ma'am. She's from insurance sector. I should collaborate. She has written a lot of research papers. So we can collaborate and write a new research paper related to this. So what happened, I can again tell you my experience. Since I did my PhD in accounting system of urban local bodies, I got a chance from C Institute only to become a member of the Board of Studies meeting of urban local bodies, wherein the accounting standards are discussed. A lot of things are discussed there. So this is the beauty of network, when you meet people and you interact with them and share your experiences or whatever you are doing, you may get a chance to get over or you go ahead. So that's the importance of networking. Now I'll really request Bahroze to just ask our other panelists also their viewpoints in this importance of networking.
Sure. Thanks, Pinky. Thanks. So I think Pinky has said, so before I go to the other panelist, I think I just want to know about that research paper which you got the second prize on. Sorry, I'm just transgressing, but I think even Dipti said that, we want to understand something more on that paper. A little gist of it, nothing detailed.
So
but if you just share what exactly was that paper, what is it that you've done, and what was the prize that you've got on?
Okay. So I presented a paper relating to the offline and online means wealth management advisory services. So which one is popular among the people? Again, I also got to, so I did a survey means of Western region and also some parts of India. And then I got to know that, okay, females are still not aware of this wealth management advisory services. They still, of course, they have come forward, they have started earning, but they are still engaged in earning only. They don't want to get engaged in investments. Means, okay, investment, okay, it will be taken care by my husband or capital markets. Still, there is a dearth of investment awareness. So that is why our CA has started this committee of investment protection and awareness. So they are conducting a lot of seminars and workshops, certificate courses, so that we women CAs should also become aware. Because what happens, earning is not the thing. How to invest those earning and then money, more money and more money, that should be the objective, and that can be done. So I presented this paper in 8 Asia Pacific international conferences, and then through my survey, I proved that people still prefer offline advisory services because they build. This is also a networking, because there's a trust. So people trust their advisors. Okay, if they meet face to face, they feel more secure. So there are robo advisors. Many companies are providing robo advisory services, but they still feel that, okay, given my net worth, it is not a robot cannot decide what should be the how my money can be channelized. So that through this paper, I actually proved all these key, which one is more famous, whether males are more aware, they are actually more aware of the investment opportunities as compared to, it's not like that. It's actually the fact, through my survey, I got it. So it's like that only.
Thank you so much, Pinky. So now coming to the session, Aparajita, can you share your experiences and whether how have you done the networking over the years, and do you think it's important? One is whether it's actually important to network, and if so, then what has been your experience of it?
Yeah, thank you, Bahroze. And I fully resonate with what Pinky said and even what you mentioned. So I believe networking is a basic human need. So I'll try to, say something from my experience, and you'll see that what it really goes with what Pinky shared on in the presentation. So when I started out as a chartered accountant, which was years earlier, we didn't have the benefit of campus recruitments or the social media, to look for placements. So freshly qualified chartered accountants, I mean, by force had to fall back on informal networks for recruitment. They were the formal networks were also not there. So the importance of networking was really impressed early. I mean, the importance was always very, very well appreciated, though there were limited opportunities for organized networking back then. And not only the opportunities, even at a personal level, personally, I was quite afraid of networking. I was, and probably still am, an introvert by nature. So, doubts about what will people think of me if I reached out to people for professional opportunities. Then there would be some wrong notions about networking. Probably networking is sometimes perceived as manipulative, or I would say it was perceived, not so much now, or maybe something which is insincere. And, so these kind of thoughts and notions kept me from putting my best efforts in networking. Of course, fortunately, I did overcome some of those, things, and I got an offer from Godrej fairly soon, and career started. So, networking, definitely my efforts at networking and overcoming these kind of notions did help, and so the career started then. But 7 years after qualification, I had to relocate abroad for personal reasons, and I had to resign from my job, and I had to take a break. So then around 3 years later, when I relocated to bank, again, it was networking which helped me, to get back to full-time work. And I appreciated networking really then. I mean, the full benefits of networking, I would say I appreciated more when I needed to go, needed in the sense that it was just in me that I had to go back to work. And I would say I wanted to go back to work. And so what did I do? I just had to start. And as Pinky just mentioned, the first starting point was attending seminars, conferences. These were organized by ICI, other professional bodies also. Started interacting with friends, with whom I had probably lost in touch for some time. And this went on for some time, and I got an opportunity from a leading organization. And then a couple of years later, I joined TCS. That's in 2007, and I'm currently employed there. So I do believe that I could manage these changes in the life, mainly because of networking. And for that, from my side, I did have to, sort of overcome my kind of thoughts about the negative thoughts about networking. And of course, I had to keep myself abreast. So as of now, I think things are far better because because there are frameworks for networking more organized, and in general, the situation, the environment is also much more conducive for networking. But yet, yes, I appreciate that, it is still on the, quite a bit lies still on us, that you need to just go out and reach out. And it really doesn't matter if some of the questions seem silly or whatever, but networking is important.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aparajita. This was really helpful. So we move to Subhangi. Subhangi, can you put on your video, please? Yeah, thanks, Subhangi.
Yeah.
Subhangi has been with Life Insurance Corporation, the largest insurance company in India, for several years, and that too in a public sector company. So what were the advantages which you had, or disadvantages which you had being in a public sector organization and being a woman, and how networking has helped you throughout the years?
Yeah, thanks, Bahroze. My experience, as you rightly said, is totally different as compared to Aparajita and Pinky. Basically, because Pinky said she's from eastern part, whereas I'm born and brought up in Mumbai or nearby area. I'm born at Thane, and most of my life I've lived here in Mumbai. So you won't believe, I'll just quote one incident, or rather two incidences. Here in Mumbai, we were so used to travel by train, and somewhere in 89 or 90, Western Railway, and I think along with Western Railway, Central Railway also decided to have ladies special train. And being young officer, by the way, I must say that entire introduction given was about Life Insurance Corporation of India. I believe introduction had LIC word missing to begin with, and people must be wondering what is it all about. And so I joined in 1985, and since 2018, I'm CFO of Life Insurance Corporation of India. So somewhere in 90s, as young officer, people used to find us like bright, cheerful officers roaming around. And they asked us, what is your reaction, madam? Like most formal way, but our own people. What is your reaction on this ladies special? And my response to that was, come to me the day half of the trains are ladies special with 2 general compartments. Because yes, Mumbai trains had only 2 women compartments or ladies compartment. So I said, come to me and ask for my reaction the day half of the trains are women ladies special with 2 general compartments. That day you will realize how we feel when, if we don't get place in first compartment, we have to walk down the entire platform and reach out to that second compartment and take the train. So this is one story. Second one is again in LIC. I was relatively senior. Somewhere it must have happened somewhere in 2005 or 6. And it was on eve of International Women's Day. LIC and LICians decided to have a meeting of executives along with, some ladies who were that time wives of higher ups, I mean, MD and chairman. Now it became suddenly very heterogeneous group, because normally we connect with our colleagues very easily and without any hassles. But how to connect with wife of chairman or MD? So there wasn't any common topic. So they all decided to say, okay, you briefly cover your career. What did you do so far? And what one thing which you feel proud to talk about? So I found, I mean, by the time my turn came, I think majority of women had given glimpses of their career. And one thing majority of them said they were proud of is having achieved work-life balance. I thought this is humbug. Work-life balance I can achieve only if my family is cooperative, otherwise how would I achieve it? So I was reluctant to talk about work-life balance. I rather mentioned, which not everybody understood in that room, but some of my colleagues understood so well. I said, look, we are meeting on the eve of International, I gave my introduction, of course. And then I said, we are meeting on the eve of International Women's Day. But whenever any women specific thing gets discussed, I keep wondering, is there any need to have anything to be discussed as women specific? And especially because I'm working in insurance sector, where I have not faced any difficulties as woman executive. So this is really in nutshell my story. That as a woman, I didn't feel any difficulty, or I didn't find it difficult to connect with people or to go out of way and decide how to have that networking done. But I believe now, after I heard Pinky and Aparajita, I believe Aparajita rightly said she's little introvert. So those who are introvert definitely feel shy of going and, establishing that connect. And Aparajita, because Pinky, because she comes from eastern part, probably she didn't enjoy all the privileges which we enjoy. I attended co-education school where 2.5 rows of benches, columns of benches were occupied by boys and 2.5 columns were occupied by girls. I mean, that kind of equality I have seen from my school days. So there wasn't any women specific thing that, created any kind of hindrance, or neither hindrance nor I felt like being very proud to say I am a woman, but I have achieved this. No, I have achieved it because I was blessed with some, conducive atmosphere. I could achieve it because I am blessed with some, intellectual ability. I could achieve it because maybe I'm now with an organization where there is no discrimination whatsoever. So this is in nutshell. Now talking about importance of networking, since Pinky started with, world of these professionals and grown-ups, I feel, in fact, if you go back to world of kids, even they feel need to have some kind of networking done. Even small kids, when they go out in a backyard or front yard and try to play with other kids, first thing they try to do is establish that connect. They try to ask in their own childish way, find about each other, the background and what game you like, what game I like. That means they establish some connect. And there the first need to establish this connect is very emotional. If you don't have that kind of connect, you will feel lonely. So unless you feel that you belong to that group and you make them feel that you are one of them, you cannot really enjoy those games or playing or that entire activity. So first, this thing is emotional. Second urge is, usually kids who are really blessed with some kind of, you can say, abilities, whatever. I mean, in their small world, if the child feels I'm capable of doing this, he feels the urge to demonstrate. So in those kids' world also, emotions and urge to demonstrate your knowledge or abilities really make you feel have that kind of networking there. Now bringing it to our world of grown-ups and professionals, I believe all of us also find that networking is very much essential. Emotion part, of course, takes a little secondary position here, but we have some urge to demonstrate to others that what I know. And we also try to find out from group of colleagues or group of professionals. If I'm facing some difficulty, then I feel he or she might have answer to this. So whenever I come across any problems, I try to find it through my network. And that is how we try to establish this networking. And this definitely strengthens our business connections. So as Pinky had rightly said, that you want to collaborate, then you need to have this networking done. You want to strengthen your connections, get ideas exchanged and get your problems resolved. And then try to, increase your profile. I mean, raise your profile to such an extent that others find it attractive. And as she rightly said, if I keep my entire area of this thing, area of expertise confined to the research I have done, then probably nobody would invite me for taking lectures. But if she tries to diversify, definitely she would be taken as a more, what I should say, the right kind of faculty or right kind of panelist for any such program. And definitely her profile would get raised. And all these things from world of grown-ups or world of professionals, or here at least we are talking about chartered accountants working as executives or working in profession, but there could be women who are willing to start their business, then networking would be all the more essential. So networking is really important, whether we are talking about children, women, men, or professionals, or those who are not in this world of professionals. Networking is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Subhangi. And I completely agree with you. I think you give a very good example to say how we can relate to what networking is. As far as I am concerned, like Aparajita said, even I had a sabbatical in my career. And when I joined back, the first thing, there's lots of apprehension when you join back. So I worked for 7 years, then I took a sabbatical for 6 years and I came back. And like Aparajita, there was a lot of, I was not confident at all. I really didn't know whether I would know tax and whether I can come back and work. So it was my network. Actually, I went and spoke to a few councils around to say that, and I knew them very well because I was in tax and all these senior councils. So I went and spoke to them and asked them, saying that, which firm do you think should I go and join? So see, the networks can help you understand which are the firms which are around, what really suits you. So they know me and said they could tell me as to, okay, these are the two firms that you should look at. And, why don't you start looking at these firms too when you start working? And then, of course, people were there to always help you. Where I did my articleship, he said, come and join me part-time. Another cousin said, come and join me part-time. So networks give you a lot of opportunity. They broaden your horizon. And therefore, it is required. Having said that, when we were working in Ferguson's, I don't think I even attended a single event. Those years, we never had this sort of things. There were hardly an event. Event used to be the budget of Nani Palkiwala. That was an event which we used to always attend. And you can always network at those events also. So it's not that you can't. So any opportunity you get to meet people is a network that you're building. That's a connection that you're building. And therefore, it's always very important that you always find opportunities to get into all of these. But having said that, there were no such formal events which were there. Institute sometimes used to have lecture sessions which we used to go and attend very rarely. You know, it's only post coming back after sabbatical that I realized the importance of how networks can be done. So we will discuss formal and informal networks, but that's when I realized that, you know, you need to have networks built not only internally, the way Subhangi has said about her, but in professional firms, and not only in business. I mean, even professionals, when they're doing their CA and they're professional, it's as good as we are in the business of doing professional services. So we need to have that networks even when we are professional services, internally, externally with clients, and also personal. From our perspective, I think all of us very clearly demonstrated to say that there is an importance to networking. There's a need for it. Make it sincere. It doesn't have to be fake. The way Aparajita mentioned, it's very important. And there's no negativity to be attached to it. Many times people have this sort of thing that, oh, men talk about networking at the bar. Do we really need to go and do talking at the bar? Not required. Not at all required. I mean, if we are not comfortable, we are not comfortable. That's it. You don't have to. Oh, they network at the golf fields. All the time we hear men going for golf. Most transaction deals happen at the golf course. Is that really required? I don't think so. Maybe they get that advantage. Maybe they're doing that. It doesn't stop us from being part of that network. We can also go and play golf. We can also go for the bars. We can go for dinners. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing wrong or right in it. But it's for us to decide, where do you want to draw the limit? Where do you want to draw the line? If it's not comfortable, it's not comfortable. You don't do it. Period. You don't need to do it. That's not networking. That doesn't help anywhere. You got to do what is comfortable for you. And of course, sports, I have 2 boys and I like sports. My children like sports. And I think it's a very good way to connect. But so also, there are artworks. It's not that only sports connects you, even arts. You have art galleries which are there. You have artwork which is there, we can connect. You have CSR opportunities where you can connect. So there are various fields that are available for connecting. And it's not necessary that you have to play golf or you need to go to a bar. No way. Actually, we've got not very this and this, though I had polling, but this question is not part of the poll. Maybe just one quick question for the participants. We would like to hear from you, if you can put in the chat box your answers to it. What do you think networking is important or not? Whether you believe that networking is important, required in today's day and age, or it's not required. So whatever your thoughts are, you can put your answers in the chat box. And we have Dipti here saying, I'm leaving the session. It was so nice interacting. Okay, sorry, Dipti. Dipti is leaving. She must be having some other work. And so she's taking off. But we have others in the session. And sorry, Dipti, you didn't realize. I thought you gave an answer in the chat. Maybe Dipti wants to just add something. What do you think of networking? Is it important or not? And then maybe you can take your leave.
Ma'am, I think it's really super empowering when we get network. And from like last 3 years, I'm actually by nature, I'm an extrovert person and I love bonding with people. When I bond with others, I really feel confident and good about it. And I'm very positive for others. I have a very positive perception for other people. I always keep. So networking really helps me. And through networking only in last 3 years, I'm able to grow a lot. If I'm here at WIRC moderating this Women's Week session, it's just because of networking.
Yeah.
And when you network, it's my personal suggestion. I've seen many people while interacting with them, they expect you what I'll get from that, why I should do this, why I should go and meet that person. So please don't expect every time ki you should do it for something or you expect something in return of something. If I'll moderate the session or if I'll go and meet that person, what I'll get? Never. It's not necessary. Those things can always be monetized. You feel good, you get network, and this universe who is taking care of everything for what you give to people around you. So networking is always a very good thing, and I suggest if you want to grow in your life, please do network. From last 3 years, I'm doing continuously network. And whether I should share, I would like to share that I've got various positions in different organizations. Even this recognition on Leadership Excellence Award I got recently on 1st of March at
Congratulations.
Delhi. It's just because of my networking things, it happened to me.
Good.
So networking will take you to levels where you yourself don't expect. Okay, how I can be there, but you will get few calls, few things, few recognitions. You will say that do I really deserve those things, or ye sab kaise ho raha hai? You will be surprised at your on your own lives. And it's always said by Steve Jobs ki connecting the dots. You cannot see the future, but when you are in that position, you can see the all those dots which all happened in your past, and you connect them very well. Ki every moment, every person, every talk which we have with anyone, they mean a lot. We are meant for something to get in our life in that.
Thanks.
So
And
be selfless. That is what I can say for networking.
I agree. I had read somewhere which says that networking is not about greed. It's about generosity.
Yes.
So if you are generous and you think about someone else, that will come back to you in your life somewhere. So you don't go to networkings just to gain something. Of course, they give you opportunities, but that's by the way. So I read somewhere, which is very similar to what Dipti has been mentioning. And we've got a few chats also, which have come in very clearly. Someone has said what Pinky mentioned, network is our net worth. So which is also very true. And Vandana, hi Vandana. Vandana says sharing is caring. So it's good. So everyone here realizes that networking is important. Now moving forward, thanks Dipti. And of course, you can leave the session, no issues.
Thank you. I'm sharing my contact details. So please connect with, I'll be more than happy to connect with you all. And this is also a part of networking. Wherever you go, please share your contact number and details. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we've all heard about how networking is important and how it is required and what should be done. So let's hear now from Pinky on what should be the skills or capabilities that are required to do a good networking. So Pinky, over to you. Should I share the screen with your presentation?
Yes, yes.
I'm making it screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you too, huh? Fine. Full screen we needed.
So I completely agree with Deepti. It was my networking with Kapoor madam. That is, I have been called here. So otherwise, CA Institute, okay, we are all CAs, but it's not possible for the Institute to call each and every woman CA or female CAs and invite them to be the panelist or address the audience. So this is the beauty again of network. Now here, since I need to know, just give a brief how we can network, the skills which we require. So as rightly quoted by Susan Markham, beyond the connections of a network, women must also have the capacity and confidence to reach their full potentials. So we need to remember 3 C's if you want to do networking in a successful manner, that is connections, capacity, and confidence. So if you have the connections, you have to develop the connections. It cannot be developed in a day. Like for example, I can say if I go to a conference, if I say hi, okay, hi Aparajita, hi Bahroze, hi, okay, hi, that's all. But if you really want to build, say, connections, what do you have to do? There should be some icebreaker. Icebreakers and generally it is done during the breaks, like coffee breaks or lunch breaks. Because during the session, during the conferences session, you cannot just talk like this. During the breaks, what do you have to do? Just an ice break. Okay, that was a very wonderful research paper. What do you think? What is your opinion? So just you should have to ask open-ended questions, not hi, or say the answer should not be yes or no. It should be means the answer should be in a elaborative manner, so that ice can be broken then and there. Now after you have broken the ice, then you can continue with your conversation. Okay, hi, I am Dr. C.A. Pinky Agarwal. I am working in this organization. I am heading this position. Okay, automatically that person will revert you back. They will also respond, and they will also, and then this way the business cards are exchanged, and what you say, and the movie continues and the picture continues. That means you don't have to stop then and there. You can just say, okay, I'll be very happy to be in touch with you. Can you please share your card? Just don't stop there. The process it should be an ongoing process. We have technology, so we can connect with them in LinkedIn, Twitters. We can mail them and just keep on posting what you are doing in your life. So what happens, they will also be in touch with you, and in this way you can say the network develops. You can also get more connects through them. So here you should be very much confident. Your confident approach only will lead you to the path of success. So you can say, like we can see our learned panelists Subhangi and Aparajita, even though they took a sabbatical, but because of their confidence, they have come ahead. Okay, so I really appreciate Bahroze also ki, okay, that confidence in you, not this being a CA, that is a confidence. Okay, you have that knowledge, so I can come forward and I can take challenges. I know how to adhere to the timelines, the deadlines, and I will stick to the deadlines, and I am going to fulfill that. So that is a confidence in you which can help you in developing the networks. So we can really quote some lines here. First, you have to be visible in the community. So if you're not attending conferences or lectures or events, you will not be visible in the community. Who will know you? So you have to get out there, connect with people. It's not called net sitting and net eating. It's called networking. So when you are coming out from your cocoon, then only the network starts. You have to work at it. So here, what I mentioned, if I am stopping by just introducing myself, that's not the thing. You have to maintain it. So it's a very slow and steady process. The networking process is very slow. It's more about farming. So farming, that means sowing the seeds. You have to water the plants every day. Sometimes you have to talk to the plants also. So I have got a small garden. Sometimes if I see my plants, they are not growing or the flower is not blooming, I just talk to them. Why you are not growing? Please grow. And magic happens, So our smile, our words, they are so, and your affectionate nature, it really helps, And it's about cultivating relationship. So we can move to the next slide, wherein some bullet points are given which you need to adopt in order to develop, say, your networking skills. So top networking skills, and this was a survey made by researchers, and they have come out with some few points which you need to consider when you are starting your network. So here the first is active listening. If I keep on speaking, people will lose interest. Like for example, in order to break the mundane, Bahroze is showing videos, she's holding polls. Okay, so if I keep on showing the PPTs, people will lose interest. So we need to listen also what others have to speak. So active listening, and through means it should be utmost attention. So if someone is saying, if Aparajita is giving some, say, supposing a viewpoints, I need to appreciate, I need to listen. And I need to just develop that also in my mind. Okay, I need to develop this. Okay, I can be more better. So I need to be grounded in reality. Ki I am not the best. I need to learn more and more in life. There are lots and lots of people from whom I can learn. I can learn from a child also. So how they patiently just sit and wait for the food, or say for their chocolates. Okay, I will sit quietly. So I have to sit quietly when I want to develop my network. Communication skills. With communication skills, you have to develop very nicely. That means you cannot just speak like this. You cannot offend others. You have to speak very intelligently. That means what you want from that person, you need to speak in such a manner that the other person will start the conversation and the magic begins, you can say. So here, how it can be done, you should have, means there should be eye connect with the speaker. So there should be a proper eye connect. Your body language, so non-verbal communication, I can say 93% of the networking skill is taken care by non-verbal communication. That means your dressing style, how you are presenting yourself, your body language, your facial expressions. So if someone, say, supposing we are in a, we are sitting together, a group of people are sitting together, and my facial expressions shows that I'm not interested. And the speaker is speaking. So what will happen? The speaker will lose interest and they will not be happy to network with me because, okay, this person is not interested, only why to talk to them. So I may lose an opportunity, a job opportunity. Okay, I may want to switch over to another job. So I may lose this opportunity. So that is why non-verbal communication, you need to take care of your body language and facial expressions. Now, here sometimes people get confused with communication skill and interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills means how do you manage? How much, like rightly shared by Shubhangi, belongingness. So how you just show, how you reveal to others that do you belong to them? How affectionate you are. So the interpersonal come out. How means whether you are affectionate with others, whether you are understanding the other people. Um, so yeah, next, humor. It's not that you need to just joke and crack jokes and let others laugh. Humor again is a mindset. That means you're like I really appreciate Behroz, means she is how she's speaking. That means it's not a humorous, she's not cracking jokes, but it is not looking like, okay, routine type of PPT I'm showing and she's also elaborating that. So there should be some humor content whenever you're speaking. So maybe a lot of people will exchange her please contacts, please give your contacts, Behroz. I want to contact you. I want to contact Aparajita. I want to contact Shubhangi. Because what happens? The smile in your face talks about everything. That is your facial expression. I can talk about that smile. I can elaborate more about smile because I have played with my smile, and I'm really telling you that my network has increased because of that. Because even scientifically, if you see now, lots of physical and neurological changes happen when you smile, and it creates positive vibes, which goes to the person which is who is standing beside you. Okay, and there he also feels that changes, and this changes go on, and it covers the whole, you can say, the people, the array of people who are standing beside you. So this is the beauty of smile. So this you should always keep, you should respect. So whenever someone is saying respect, give them respect. If it's so good, that means Shubhangi at such a level, and she is actually appreciating, okay, Pinky, okay, she spoke like this. This is like a respect only. We need to respect others. Everyone has got their own skills. And if you start respecting others, of course, you will get back that respect. What we said, like, so this is what first we have to give, then only we can get. Otherwise, it's not possible. So confidence, so we have already mentioned the 3 C's: connections, connectivity, and that confidence we need. Friendliness. We need to be very much friendly. So all these, if summarized, we need to develop our 3 Qs. What are 3 Qs? So I'm very fond of Qs, three Qs. That is, you need to develop your intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, and social quotient. So many people feel that, okay, I need to study more, learn more, so that my emotional quotient can be increased. But mind it, what is more important in this world, or if you want to be successful, your emotional quotient and social quotient should be enhanced. That means you should work on more. So if you want to develop your networking skills, please work on your emotional quotient and your social quotient. It shows the fame and the character of a person. That means social quotient, how you are networking with people, whether you have that affectionate nature, whether people can trust you. That is the most thing. You need to actually win the trust of others. Then only networking can happen. Otherwise, who will come and talk to you? Okay, this person not interested. No, let's not go for that. So here, emotional quotient, the affectionate, the belongingness which you show to others, that should be developed in order to develop the networking skills. So I really, again, just ask the opinion of my other panelists and my Behroz she can also say, express her viewpoints.
Thank you. Thanks, Pinky. So let's check with others as to what they believe, what Aparajita and Shubhangi believes are the skills that you require to do a good networking. So Aparajita, over to you.
I think what Pinky has mentioned, so that's something very exhaustive. And of course, I fully agree with it. These are the soft skills which one cannot really do without. And like we had mentioned, I mean, what you had shown right in the beginning in the musical, I think they had mentioned Dale Carnegie. And so in Dale Carnegie, actually, I think I also read somewhere that on those soft skills, he had mentioned somewhere, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. And I think all this can happen only if our social quotient, our emotional, intelligence, and the general body language and communication skills are all intact. But apart from this, I mean, you, because these things are which one has to work. I mean, there's no two ways about it. One has to work on these skills, soft skills. If some people are actually lucky, they are born with them, that's very good. But if you're not born, I mean, if one can work at these skills. But apart from that, I think it's also important to be abreast, like if it's a connection that we are looking for, not only a job opportunity, even a change in the position within the organization or something like that. So it is very important to be abreast of the professional developments in the relevant field, so in whatever field we are looking for. So again, I mean, relating it to my life experience. So when I was looking to re-enter the work area after 3-year career break, the finance landscape had actually completely changed from what it was then. I mean, it must have changed in other areas also, but since I was more familiar with the finance landscape, so it's that when I mean, when I had qualified in the chartered accountancy, we had just around 12 or 13 accounting standards. I'm just taking an example from accounting standards. But this, when I was planning to re-enter, the accounting standards had completely changed. I mean, it was there was in fact no deferred tax concept when we had qualified. There was no indirect taxation in the syllabus. So, but all this obviously, so I couldn't take an excuse that I haven't gone through those, I haven't studied. So just have to keep oneself abreast of whatever the changes are. Nowadays, the changes are happening at a really fast pace. I mean, much faster than it was happening even, say, 10 years ago. So it's extremely important that, especially for chartered accountants who are starting out, to always keep abreast, keep themselves updated professionally also. And what I had done during the break was I did try to develop my the qualification. So since I was abroad, I took the CPA exam in addition to, so just to keep myself sort of abreast with the professional developments there. And another thing I think is very important, one has to find a good mentor. So this a good coach. So good coach or a good mentor is something, again, a very personal opinion based, who is good and who is the right, but one has to do that. So one has to probably think over where one wants to be, and based on that, decide on a, try to find a good mentor or a good coach in that area. And definitely there should be targeted networking in that area, and this has to be done with a lot of care, using all the skills which Pinky mentioned. And definitely the realities also play a lot of role in that, and luck would also play a role in that, but one has to keep up one's efforts. And I'm sure I mean, one does get a good mentor or a good coach, and this is more in the initial stages, and that helps one to grow in the career. So I think these are the two things, and I fully agree to what Pinky said. So it's all in addition to what Pinky said.
Thanks, Aparajita. I think you put in very well. So now what we generally discuss is mentor and coach, like she mentioned at the earlier stages, is required. But going forward also you still require. So we now call them as sponsors, because there should be someone who is actually sponsoring you, believes in you, works with you to reach up. So it is so very important that you need to have these things. And of course, Pinky mentioned about farming and hunting. And I always keep telling that there are two leadership skills, and women generally are very good at farming. Farming meaning we don't really go hunting after clients, and in a different context to put it. So whenever I say about leadership and I speak about farming and hunting, though maybe not in this context, but what comes out is that we don't really go hunting after clients, or we don't go after something which is someone else's. We will rather farm it up, grow it up, and make a new thing. So there's so much of opportunities around. That's two skills of leadership which are there, which both have their plus and minus. I'm not saying it's not correct or wrong. No ways. That thing is right or wrong. Everything can be done. It's all on your perception, how you want to do it. But it's so very important that you understand all these concepts to know that these are there, and you need to spend your time doing networking, and you just can't go hunting and get networks done. So Subhangi, if you can have your video on. Hi, Subhangi.
Hi.
Subhangi, what are your thoughts on what are do's and don'ts or the skills for good networking?
Yeah, first of all, I'm really happy that Pinky has covered and given exactly what is called by Aparajita as exhaustive list of networking skills. So I 100% agree with Pinky. And Aparajita had rightly made additions from her side. About those two things also, I would like to make an addition, in the sense Aparajita made me think about did I take any break? Did I try to myself keep updated about changes in this area of finance and accounting? And I feel, and all of you have seen, that I have been working for 37 years with LIC, and had I just continued to work as officer level, then executive level, probably I would have found it really difficult to keep myself updated with changes. But yes, the luck factor also played its major role. And I could get a break somewhere in the year 95 when sector was to open up. And between 95 and 2000, entire development of insurance sector opening up took place. And that was the period I was at National Insurance Academy doing my research in the area of accounting and reporting standards and practices, followed by insurance companies across the globe. And I'm in life insurance, but I could study life as well as general insurance. Insurance is really a very peculiar sector. Yes. And as student, and later on I found, even as student, my son studied insurance as just a format account. But because I'm the part of insurance industry, I know there is much more than its format. Insurance is altogether a different field. The business is peculiar, and that's why accounting is peculiar. So this kind of break really helped me bring my knowledge up to, update my knowledge and bring it to the level. From that point onwards, regulators started playing the role. And the work or the material I had gathered, and the material on the basis of which I completed my research, came very handy for the then interim IRA, currently IRDA, for their study groups to complete their work and design their regulations. So yes, luck factor is there, but from my side there were efforts to keep myself updated, and that is very much needed in this field of CA, professional field. Chartered accountants can't be lagging behind, because every day something new would come. Some new regulation, amendment in Act, Income Tax Act gets amended, GST comes, service tax comes, it gets discarded, then GST, all those things. When Aparajita said some 12 standards were there when she passed CA, I passed way back in 1984, not a single accounting standard was. So for me, accounting standard itself was something new. So those 5 years gave me opportunity to learn not only Indian accounting standards, but FASB and accounting standards prevailing in Europe, and why accounting standard board and why accounting standard committee, and how they keep switching over from one word to another or one format to another. All these things you can do if you can get this kind of break, not necessarily sabbatical leave. In my case, it was for proper deputation. So I was fortunate to earn and learn both simultaneously. Now about before even do's and don'ts, I was little, what I should say, amused when Pinky said she had even worked on her smile. all, all these years, I believed that smile comes from your heart and it shows on your face, and that brings a lot of positivity. But now I have learned, and yes, I should agree and accept that the way Pinky smiles and carries herself or presents herself and gives those expressions, one can acquire those skills as well. And probably one can think of working on these things. But some of these qualities, some of these qualities are very natural. And I think someone's just a minute.
I put her on mute. Sorry. Sorry, Subhangi, I put her on mute.
Sorry. Two of these things, especially this, as we talked about smile and positivity, I feel it should be there in your personality, but going by Pinky's version, one may acquire this also, because positivity is something, again, you can work at. Few negative experiences or exposures need not, bring in that negativity in your personality. Keep them behind and try to be positive, because that would take you a long way when it comes to networking as well as growth in your professional field. One more thing, of course, humor is something one may add, one may decide. As she rightly described you, Bahroze, that your personality has that right kind of smile, positivity. So it need not be cutting jokes, but you make the other person feel, that here is a person with whom I would like to connect. Now about do's and don'ts, what I feel is she, again, I'll take Pinky's, example quoted by her about ice breaking in between those conferences. Sometimes what happens, we come across people who try to connect, but they try to just agree with your point of view. What I feel is, if you are little honest in that, your networking would be really, it would really take place in a right way, right manner. If we just go on moving from one group to another, agreeing with whatever views expressed by those people, after some time, people would definitely judge you, not being judgmental, but they'll still assess you, and they would feel that here is a person who doesn't have any firm opinion. It's better to have your own opinion. Nothing wrong in trying to compare it with opinions expressed by others, but we can't just simply go on agreeing with whatever opinion is expressed by others. Secondly, we should, during networking also, we should avoid overexposure. And thirdly, I agree that sometimes you can work on your personality, but still try to bring out your original personality whenever you try to connect with others. So I think that is all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thanks, Subhangi. I agree with you. And on smile, I think I've been told both positively and negatively. One person said, do you smile when you sleep also? And I said, I don't know, because I'm sleeping. So I was like, I didn't know whether it's a compliment or not. But another person, which I asked him, I said, how is it that, men can get good fees for their work? And when it comes to a woman asking for a fee, you generally come and discount it. I said, do you really believe that, and I asked a man about it. And it's a very good client, and I really hold that person in very high regard. I said, what is it that I should do so that a man will give me much higher fees, because the value that I'm giving is the same as what others would give. So he told me one thing, he's saying, whenever you're negotiating or you're discussing fees, don't smile. And I said, oh, saying, yeah, because then someone may think that, you're okay with the discount. So I said, oh, I never realized it. So now sometimes I consciously try not to smile when I'm discussing engagement scope and fees with my clients, so that's something which you take forward and you go ahead. Otherwise, I'm generally like smiling all the time, though not joking on, not smiling on someone else, but it just comes naturally. So that's the way I am like. But I think Subhangi made very good points to say that you have to be natural and you have to do things what you naturally can do. Don't fake, because it'll come out. Once you can fake, twice you can fake, but third time you will come to know. So what we've done is I've got a small video on the do's and don'ts also. I'll just share my screen. It's a nice, small, short video, not long. And maybe we'll all enjoy it also. Oh, how do I go out of this? Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. This had to.
Bahroze, don't feel sorry. In fact, that video started the ball rolling.
I'm now lost how to come out of this full screen.
होता है, उसको छोटा करना पड़ेगा आपको. It is nice, watching you after long, whereas, we had met women's meet, you remember, right?
Yes.
At WRC, BKC. Long time.
So can you see my screen now?
Yes, khali full screen kari nakho.
You can hear?
Yeah, we can hear also. Khali full screen to button dabayo.
Okay. These
Awaaz
are do's and don'ts of networking.
Oh, we've got a retweet.
And sometimes I just feel like I'm struggling to keep my staff motivated.
Yeah, we said that's very unprofessional of you. I wouldn't be surprised if your business failed very soon. You need us, you fool.
What I'm really interested in doing is investing in some offshore tax havens. Places like Panama, where you get some real production sort of incentives.
And that's one of the biggest challenges for...
Hello, everyone.
One of the biggest challenges for talent retention in a mid-scale business.
That's really funny. Do you want to dance?
Hello, I've been told you're a business analyst.
Oh, do off, you mother.
Thanks.
That's great. I'll be in touch. Do you have a card?
Yep.
Crawley taxis. Dry cleaning on Tuesday. Spanking fun 24/7.
Hello, I'm Philip.
Jane.
How's business?
Fine. I have been badly constipated though over the last week. Like really, really bunged up. I've actually forgotten what it's like to go.
I mean, the public relations game has changed over the last few years. It's no longer about chucking out digital content. It's about telling a story that people engage with.
Awesome, man. Look, Mark Davis, Mediocre Video Solutions.
Tony Jensen, Reach PR.
Good, look. What should, in great detail, my entire annual digital marketing strategy be? Go.
Do you know this guy?
Bruce Jenkins, Global Pencil Supplies. Loved your presentation.
Yeah, here, take my card. Really like the bit about a while stock stationery.
So hi, so we are back again. And this was just to show that there are certain things that we should not do and certain things that we should do when we're doing a networking. And these things are just to keep in mind. So I always feel that when you see something, it remains in your mind more often. So actually, we have a poll, but I don't know how the poll is going to, we can have the poll done. I've launched the poll. Can you all see it? I'm not sure. Can anyone confirm whether you can see the poll?
Yes, we can read.
The first question that we want to do was that what should be done at networking events? But ask questions, listen and be polite, be rude, find a corner and be aloof from others, criticize a person publicly. So if I can have the participants poll on this, give your answers on the poll. Okay. Everyone has, like, one person has said it. There's only one person who's done the poll. Others, can I have others do the poll from the participants? We've two. Actually, at least some people are listening to what is being discussed. So I will end this poll now. And the results were 100%. You can't be rude. You can't find a corner and sit and be aloof. You can't criticize someone publicly. And you need to ask questions and listen. I think Pinky started her session with saying, listen and be polite. I'm sorry. We have another poll also, if anyone is of interest to do the second poll, which is also very similar to what we just discussed. What should not be done at networking events? Can you all see the poll? I'm not sure.
No.
Oh, you can't see the poll. Okay. I'll have to stop sharing then.
Yes, we can see.
So what happened? The previous poll result was going on. Then I just pressed the close button. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Others, we can do the poll. Achha, you can't see it. I'll try running it again. The second poll we'll run. The first poll, everyone gave a 100% answer to saying that you should listen and ask questions. The second poll was what should not be done at networking events. Monopolize the conversation. Personal talks, hard marketing of services, all of the above. So can you all see the poll? Or you can put on the chat also if you can see the chat. What is it that you should not be doing at networking events?
Obviously not monopolize.
Not monopolize, yeah. And not do personal talks. Not do hard marketing.
Correct.
We are not here to do hard marketing also.
Correct.
It's basically all of the above, yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing all of these things. And so it's all of the above that was there. I had one more video, but I think we can go ahead with that because if we have the time, it's basically on the same thing to say what should not be done or what is the good things that we should do at the networking. So that video, anyone can see it later also. Now that we've heard about how important it is to network, what are the skill sets that are required for networking, what are do's and don'ts of networking. Hello, Archita. So now we come to discuss is that are women good at networking? What do you think, are women good at networking or not? And let's start with Pinky. Pinky, what's your thoughts on that as to, do you believe we are better than men at networking?
Okay, we can start the slides also. Of course, women are better at networking. See here, like it's rightly been said by Subhangi. See, we are not living now in that era where there is a difference between a male and a female. They both should do networking. It's not like that. But what we can see, as rightly means surveyed by many researchers, they have found out that men, they have very short-term goals and they are very straightforward. So whenever they meet any people, they come straight to the point. Okay, man, I want this. So if you have any connects, okay, we can go ahead like this. So they have very short-term needs and they come straight to the point. So, but what happens whenever a woman meets, she's little like Aparajita said, earlier she was introvert, shy. So they are very hesitant and they look forward for long-term needs. They not only want professional, say, commitment, they also want personal commitments like friendship. So first they look forward for friendship, they become friendly, then they build trust. After getting the trust, they actually go ahead. So what happens whenever they do networking? Generally, females adopt this type of skills. Okay, okay, friendship. Of course, nowadays you will not find this because females have become more professional, but still in the back of the mind, they always feel that, okay, this person can be trusted or not. Shall I confide everything to that person or not? Whether they will not reveal this to some other person or not, whether they are going to fulfill my needs or not. So these are the different things which they can think in their mind while networking. So what happens? They need to, again, what happens? like earlier when we cleared a CA, networking was happening. So we were a little bit scared. Okay, if I talk to males a lot, or even after the during office hours, people can misconstrue. They feel that okay, we are afraid. Okay, they can take in a different manner. So we are sometimes afraid of getting things done, means taking things in a different manner or in a wrong manner. So all these things comes in a mind, because what happens, we were grown up like this in that era, but now I completely agree with Shubhangi, because my children, they have grown up in Western region, and there is no such. I have studied in means girls school, girls college. So, but my children have studied now, they co-ed. They don't know what is the difference between girl and a boy. And my daughter, she speaks with the boys, means male counterparts, means like she's talking in a very bindas manner, I can say. So I really appreciate that ki nowadays this bar or this barrier between this is not there at all. So we cannot say ki they are better at networking, but of course, whenever they are networking, that will last for a longer time. So because that is for long term needs, and there will be not only professional commitments, but there will be added tinge of friendship, trust, and confidence. So that you may find in that. So I really don't want say ki no, this males are different or women are different. In this era, we are at means par, and of course there should not be means, even though the government has started this train only for females, but it's not like that. We have come out now, and we are ready to face anything, means the all these troubles and everything we are ready to face. So we can discuss more. What are the opinions? So Bahroze, over to you now.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Pinky. Shubhangi, Shubhangi, you can put on your video.
Yeah.
Shubhangi. So what do you think? Are women better at networking?
In fact, one word I reply is yes.
Yes.
Here I'll tell one story or anecdote. I had attended again one women specific program. It was, I think, program for, it was conducted by College of Insurance, and it was program for women executives. Overall program was about normal soft skills. And towards the end, they wanted our feedback. And as I have narrated earlier, there also my feedback turned out to be, where is a need to have women specific program. I mean, there were a variety of feedbacks given by other co-participants. Some of them said such programs should be along with male counterparts, etc. I said, Ramesh, I mean, these programs for soft skills are meant for all executives. And we women in insurance sector do not have any special problems to be faced. And then I had added one, I should say, from my side, I said, we are on the contrary, advantageous position. So the coordinator asked me, why do you think you are at advantageous position? So that was way back in, early 90s. So number of women in my organization also were, the number was really limited. I mean, we were not number-wise, not large in number. So I said, look, what happens if I do something? I have got professional competency. I have joined as direct recruit. So whatever work I do, I'm sure my male counterparts or colleagues are also handling those kind of jobs. But whatever I do gets noticed. Why? Because I'm a lady. So I said, I'm really at advantageous position when my work gets noticed without, going out of way and without going to higher ups, telling them I have done this, I have done that, I have overcome this problem in this fashion. But really speaking, those problems are not faced by me as woman. They are just problems faced by any executive in this organization. If I have to, act as a leader and complete some job. So I leave it at that. I mean, that at that point of time, I thought I enjoyed advantages of being a woman. But coming back to those networking skills, I thought many of those qualities women already have. Pinky was time and again mentioning we need to have affection. I feel women are not only affectionate, they are more, they have a lot of compassion also. So whenever we try to connect or whenever we do networking, and not that every time we go ahead and do this networking for converting the whole conversation in our favor. Because basically networking is not just taking, networking is sharing. So women are good at sharing. That's what I feel. Secondly, this positivity, yes, it is there. Women are more friendly. We might have more positivity around us. And so connecting or establishing this kind of networking is much easier for women. But you can discount my thoughts to some extent, because basically I have worked in insurance sector, where had somebody like some engineer working in some engineering or oil industry, that kind of executive may have different types of problems. And she may not, her experience would be different, and she may not agree with me, rather she'll contradict with me, and she would say, no, women have got a lot of disadvantages. Because lady, especially an engineer, if she has to work at plant, and if she has to interact with workers, probably she'll find it very difficult to guide them, work as a leader, or connect with them, or connect with other colleagues at her level or higher level. But in my sector, insurance, banking, or we as chartered accountants in profession, probably we have more advantages being women, except for Bahroze, what you narrated, that if you smile, if you smile and negotiate, probably they'll take it as you are ready to discount. It worked other way around with me. I was negotiating with one consultant, and I went on stretching him. He didn't reduce the fees, but he allowed me to extend the time period I was willing to cover. And finally, at the end of it, he said, you have great negotiation skills. Nothing of that sort. I don't think I'm great. I have great negotiation skills. But I could sort of convince him that my, your consultancy services we may need for longer period, and I'm ready to accept higher fees, but not for a shorter duration, but for longer duration. So with our inner qualities, positivity, and I wouldn't say all of them would be acquired skills. Some of them would be inner skills. Some of them would be acquired skills. But women, in their personality, there is this affection, compassion, positivity, and with that we have advantage over men. When of course still you can discount it to the extent that it would be true for certain industries and may not be universally true.
I agree. So coming to the advantage, I can share basically being in tax throughout. So earlier, so I used to be one among so many people who were assistant managers at the time, and we used to go to tax office. So whenever we used to go to tax office and I used to go and discuss my case and present my case and all that, we used to have a patient hearing, and we used to come back and then discuss at the office, okay, we had this hearing and this officer said this things, commissioner said this, and this is how we went through it. And every time I used to be very positive about it, to say, oh, I had a very good experience, and they listened to everything that was being told and all of that. And the boys, when they used to be discussing their experiences at tax office, and they used to be always negative, say, Arey, he scolded me and he got angry at me. And think you have an advantage because you're a woman. They are much more patient with you to listen. I said, okay, then that's good. That's my advantage of being a woman, because at least everyone gives you a patient hearing. They hear what you have to say. They understand, and then they don't get angry at us. I said, that's good. That's the advantage that we have. So I think it has both plus and minus. Aparajita, before we come to, I have one little sort of I wouldn't say women are better at networking than men, because what I have seen in my experience, in my own experience, we sometimes, when we start off with going to events, we don't go alone. We try to take someone along with us. So we always have this confidence. Our confidence is quite low. And that's what we feel, that initial, it starts like that. Over time, then we are okay. Because we're chartered accountants. How can we not have confidence? How can we not have intellectual abilities also? Because we are CAs. How can we not know what's going on in the market, in the business, in politics? Because we read all of that. It's only the question of how do we speak? How do we enter that sort of a group which is formed out there? How do we go and talk? So sometimes I feel that, and when I actually work through with my team and I encourage them, I tell them how it has to be done, I see that there is a little hesitation. So somewhere you need to have that push which is required to start it. Once started, I think then we are through with it. But the initial days when you really need to start off, I think that's where you require that nudge which is needed. And that I think everyone should do that for the other lady members. Once you give that nudge and you start off, then we are fine. Then we are okay, at par with whatever, or better maybe. But the initial time when you have to go to any network events, I've seen that there's a lot of hesitation. You think, oh God, what am I going to do? How am I going to get into that group? What am I going to talk? Am I going to fumble? It looks so odd. It'll be so embarrassing. If they ask me something I don't know, what will happen? All those questions keep in mind. So at that point of time, then I feel, okay, women should have the confidence and should believe in themselves. Then you're through with it. Subhangi, what do you have to say on that?
Yeah. You wanted to know from Aparajita or from me?
You can say it. You got your video on, so and then take up with Aparajita.
So here again, I'll once again say that when Pinky was narrating about these networking skills, and she mentioned that confidence is something which is needed as networking skill. I feel confidence is needed for networking skills, and confidence is the outcome also of networking skill.
Yes.
You need some confidence to develop that connect, but once you are connected, you further gain confidence, and you seem to be very comfortable. And you have just now, Bahroze, confirmed it that yes, there is a starting trouble. We need some was a push, or we need someone to accompany so that we can attend a particular gathering or a conference or a meeting. Once we are there, part of that gathering, we know we are competent enough, and we have that natural confidence, and we are thereafter, we don't require any push.
Yeah.
And one more, if you feel time is okay, I can narrate one more.
Of course.
Now I have reached a level, but this was about 4-5 years ago, where I'm considered as definitely senior executive, and I had to interact and impart training to newly recruited officers. And here all chartered accountant women will feel good to listen to this story. I had an opportunity to interact with direct recruit officers who are generalists. I mean, they are from any other category but professionally qualified. And I found there were few women and mainly male-dominated groups. And those women were hardly confident. They were not communicating much. I had to ask them questions and so on. And followed by, within a month or two, this group was followed by chartered accountants group, about just 80 of them joining LIC, and I had to interact. And these 80 people were split into 2 groups, and per group there were about 11 girls. And you won't believe, I found they were not girls, they were all chartered accountants. So those 11 girls and remaining boys were all CAs. These girls did not require any special push. I never had to ask them, okay, you say something. They were free in expressing their opinions. And end result, I do not know whether I should have passed this comment, but when I came back to my department and I told my people, how was your experience? They asked me, madam, how was your experience? I said, you won't believe, those girls are so beautiful. See what happened, I liked their confidence so much that I couldn't help talking about it. Instead of saying they were confident, I ended up saying they were so beautiful. Each one of them, qualified chartered accountant, carried herself with that confidence and without needing any kind of push. So I believe not only women, but women chartered accountants definitely now onwards won't require any kind of push. We already have that confidence in us, and with we as women have got some certain advantages which should be demonstrated whenever we try to connect. That's what I think.
Yes. Thanks, Subhangi. Aparajita, over to you. If you can share.
Yes, I think all has been said, and I mean, both Pinky's and Shubhangi's, anecdotes were really very interesting and fully resonate with them. But I would also say, in similar lines, that probably as the general belief is, women are better in interpersonal skills, keeping in touch, and these are the basic building blocks of having a good networking skill. And the environment does count, because it's not only the industry but also the geography in which we are in, the region, the mentality. So all of this does help. and definitely your own confidence levels, the interpersonal skills are the main point. So I don't think I can add anything to this. All has been said in this. I fully agree. Women are probably better.
Okay, good. I think that's very nice that all of us believe that women are probably better for networking, and I agree with it. I mean, basically the qualities which are required for networking, I think women have that. So then, of course, we have to be better than that. Now we're coming to our next. There was a poll which I'm going to run. I'm not running the poll. Maybe we can have a questions in the chat box itself to say that, do we need separate networking events for women only? I think Subhangi has been very categorically mentioned that, she doesn't see the difference. And truly speaking, I think most organizations, we really don't see that much of a difference between men and women. But as a concept, do you think that, this is a poll for all participants? I can run it as a poll, or maybe everyone can just answer on the chat itself to say that, do you really believe that there should be separate networking events specifically for women? And then I'll hand it over to Pinky, who will speak of the various types of networks that are there. And I think that's also very important to understand. When we speak about networking, we know it's important, we know its do's and don'ts and the skills required. We also need to understand what are the different types of networks that we have to keep in mind. See, that is very crucial, and we had referred to it earlier. I think I and Subhangi both had sort of mentioned. I think that's also very crucial to understand what are different types of network. So we don't have much coming on the chat right now. So I'll hand it over to Pinky. Pinky, I'll share the screen for your presentation. And if you can speak about what are different types of networks that you've there. You can, okay. You can see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen. So let us know about the types of network. So here, when we are going ahead with the networking skills, we are approaching people, there may be different categories. That means here I want to really say there is a difference between mentors and sponsors. So we need to know the difference between that. Why? Because a mentor, they are constant guiding us, okay, and they also show us the path. But sponsors are those people who advocate for us even behind the closed doors. So what happens? They will realize your potential, and they will definitely, when the opportunity comes, they will definitely encash your potential, and they say, okay, they can tell you, okay, you can go ahead. I know this opportunity. You just go and explore this opportunity. So we should definitely have a mentors, but mentors should be converted into sponsors. Then only networking can happen. Now, what happens whenever we are going for sponsors? There can be two types of networks. That means core networks and extended networks. Now, how to go ahead when we are approaching these types of sponsors? That means core networks, you are meeting people every day. So what you have to adopt, because those people are known to you, and what you can do. So you need to adopt SIR approach: smile, importance, and recognize. So smile, of course, it is natural, of course, and I completely agree with Subhangi that it comes naturally, and it is also coming naturally. I'm not faking my smile. It is coming like this. But what is happening? I realize that the smile, the length of the smile, that means it should be broader, it should be smaller. Means that, like Bahroze told, okay, you should not smile whenever you're negotiating about the fees. So that should be worked on. But what we can say, we are born, the females are born actors. They know how to play with their sentiments. Sometimes people speak like this, but smile, of course, how to greet people, the greeting should be with a smile. So that what happens, like I mentioned earlier, the positive, means the vibes, it should be there beside you. Everyone is positive with your positive smile, and the people also around you becomes positive. Importance, this is very important. How you need to show the person with whom you are talking, you are giving them importance. So when we are addressing someone, okay, Bahroze, she is really moderating very nicely. She has that skill to moderate. I cannot do that moderation part. Okay, so this If I realize her importance and I keep on telling her, okay, she'll feel that importance. She will develop that trust. Okay. And maybe it can go longer way. So that is the thing. So you need to show importance to that person. Ki, no, you have got this quality. And of course, and I realize this. So what is the new which is happening in your life? You can start with this conversation. Okay. So that means that person will realize, okay, this person is interested in my life. Okay. Then the conversation starts. And then start recognizing ki what other traits this person has got, what positive traits or what are the peculiar types of traits that person is having, which you should note down, because this will help you to continue this relationship. So this is known as SIR approach. That means you need to greet a person with a smile, show, just exuberate the importance. You're giving importance to that person, you're listening to that person, and start realizing the peculiar traits of that person. Now, when you go ahead like this, of course, this network will develop, keep on developing. But this cannot happen when you're going for extended network. Extended means you have met a person, say at a conference. You cannot just go and talk to that person. That person may be shy, introvert. They may not be friendly. So what happens here? You need to use that icebreaker approach. And when you're using that icebreaker approach, continue with this. That means you need to find out what that person wants. Okay, while at the time of conversation, you try to give that person the thing he wants. That means he may be a researcher. He wants, say, supposing he wants you to speak at his, say, event. Go first and do that thing. Because what will happen when he gets something, of course, he will also give you something. So that is a thing. So here, task recommend information, like rightly said by Aparajita, we need to keep ourselves updated. If we are not updated, so if we keep on harping, so I cleared my CA 97, so capital market was not there. So it was not there in the syllabus. So if I say, okay, I am not interested in financial market, I never read it, it was not there in my syllabus, it cannot happen. So you need to keep yourself updated. And because of this only I can say, because I got an opportunity to take one of the courses is organized by CA Institute, certificate courses of financial markets. So that is why if you keep yourself updated, the networking develops and it keeps on developing. So you need to find out what task, whether they want to collaborate with you in a research paper, or say supposing they want you to talk at their event, just go on with that. And then recommend information. You need to have that information which they want. So first approach should be to give. So for extended network, the approach should be giving nature. You should be a giver. And you will definitely see that you will get that reciprocation. So what you need to visualize whether what you want exactly from that person. So when you are giving, you will definitely get what you want. So when you are getting, when you want that, of course, you will get it. And of course, you need to continue this relationship for a longer time. So what happens for extended network, in order to develop, say, supposing it's a new contact, if you want to develop, you can just mail to that person, thanking, okay, I like this trait of yours. This was really very nice. So when we met, say, for the first time, we all panelists met, okay, we were talking in a very professional manner, okay, this should be done. But yesterday when we met, so we also asked personal things also. So what happens? Peculiar traits needs to be recognized of that person, and you need to compliment that person. If you compliment, you will see the magic of the networking skills. So here what happens, the crux of the story is that you should always recognize the importance of that person, listen to that person, and then try to get what you want from that person. And of course you will get it, but it will be a slow and steady process. So I think we can go for the types of women networks. So we can, it is noticeable that women generally try to mingle with women in similar position, like CAs, okay, let's talk with, it's not like that. Sometimes they also mingle with diverse women. That means from others. So if they want some career guidance, they need to mingle with people from different areas. Otherwise, they will not get the ideas. Okay, being a CA, I don't have to work only in the audit areas, or I have to become a tax consultant. It's not like that. I can do whatever I want, because what, it's not that. So I have seen CA entrepreneurs who are working in hotel industry also, hospitality industry we can say, or like we have seen insurance sector also. So it's not like that we have to do always audit and tax consultancy. I had chosen academics because it was convenient for me. So you need to prioritize ki what you want in your life, and you can do anything if you do proper networking. If you have proper connections, you can do anything. So you basically need the information, what type of information you want, and that information you can get only when you're doing networking. So over to you, Bahroze. What is your...
Pinky, thanks for sharing this. And so we've heard about Pinky saying about types of various networks that are there and how women can join those networks or be part of those networks. And I would like to ask Aparajita, what has her experience been on networks, and has she seen her organization, developing networks within the organization itself, or anything else that she's come across in her experience? Over to you, Aparajita.
Yeah, thank you, Bahroze. So it's really heartening that power of women at work is being recognized at all levels, including at the regulatory levels, right at the top. So as an example, the introduction of provisions relating to mandatory women director, which was introduced by the Companies Act 2013, is a big example. And there have been so many other changes in the laws also. And I think even the Income Tax Act earlier provided certain benefits for women taxpayers. So, this recognition of women at work, slowly, to encourage women at work right at the top is being very much understood. So, and there are industry bodies such as the CII, the Chambers of Commerce, such as the Bombay Chambers of Commerce, our own ICI, and many others. They have all enabled women's networking by having separate focus groups. So these provide, the much needed structured networks to meet like-minded women to discuss and overcome challenges. And they will also cater to meeting women from other fields, maybe some thing in common between them, but some diverse fields also. So that really helps these professional bodies. So the CIIs, I think, is called the Indian Women Networking or something like that. So these are very easily available from the websites, and they have quite nominal membership fees. Now, coming to the private sector, in my own company, that's TCS, we are one of the largest employers of women in the world. So TCS's employee strength is around 5 lakhs. And of that, as of now, that is as of March 2000, the last year, it was the percentage of women in the workforce was around more than 36%. Now, it still looks small, 36%, but compared to, say, not too many years ago, 2016, it was 33. And a few years prior to that, it was even a bit less than that. So the percentage of women is definitely increasing in the workforce. And most of it is definitely at the junior levels, the percentage will be much, much higher. So it is almost somewhere between 40 to 50% at the junior levels. At leadership levels also, the percentages are slowly moving up. So, but the average is slightly more than 36% as of now. And private sectors have now as Subhangi has already said, in the public sector, these things were probably common because there have been women in public sector for quite some time in the administrative services or even in the medical profession, or also in the academic field. But in the private sector also, companies are gearing up. In TCS, there are multiple initiatives for helping women employees realize their potential. So again, these are aimed for striking a good work-life balance, because that does remain a challenge even till this day. So these initiatives, we have, discussion circles, support groups, so to help women associates, that is women employees, through major life stages. So it could be, when they are just prior to going on maternity leave, or maybe little later, or even much later. So any life stages changes, like, so we do have support groups internal to the organization specifically for women employees. There are reorientation programs to reconnect employees who have taken long childcare leave. So that's more than the normal maternity leave, but if they've taken more leave. So they have those, and it's there in most companies these days. And there are, inspirational, there are interactions, arranged with inspirational women leaders, both external as well as internal. There are special leadership development programs, so to address women, fulfill their aspirations at various stages of their careers. So you have leadership programs from the junior to, to identify high talent within women, maybe in the junior levels, and also in the middle levels, and also in the senior to the leadership levels. So, and the general programs we do have, like there are support groups, parenting workshops. So all these things are mainly, what I feel is, most companies are giving a lot of focus on these things, because you realize that without having these, I mean, to a certain extent, special women focused programs are required. And even within large organizations, so even within the organizations, because otherwise, because the percentages are still lower, so even we are still not at 50%. So to help women to, overcome this, though, I mean, overall, the policies are gender neutral. So, I mean, there's no difference in work, there is no difference in pay or anything like that. So that's a stated policy that these are gender neutral policies, but yet some affirmative women focused programs are definitely needed. And I think most large and companies are doing their best in this direction. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Aparajita. So I agree. I mean, most companies are working towards giving more programs for women and encouraging women to take up leadership roles. So Subhangi, on the networks, what are different types of networks that you have seen and maybe being part of also? So you can just maybe share your experience on the types of networks that a woman should look at to be part of.
Yeah. First of all, I must compliment Aparajita for giving such a exhaustive view on types of networking and special needs of women, because so far we had talked about we don't need anything special, but I couldn't help but to agree with her that yes, there are certain special needs. Here, I mean, before even talking about networking, just to agree with Aparajita, and one very lighter note I'll share with you all. Our Life Insurance Corporation of India head office, Yogakshema building, good old days, it had, washrooms for men, women and officers. So we used to say there are officers only one gender, or do you have to? Now they have stopped it, and there are male people, I mean men, women, no officer specific washrooms. So they have realized that it can't happen that officers only would be in, men would be officers and there won't be women. And moreover, now 90% officers are around. So they can't afford to have these 3 categories, but there are only 2 categories now. Now, jokes apart, of course, about types of network. Yeah, once again, I give full marks to my organization, that our organization helps us in networking as well. As far as types are concerned, you have formal and informal, basically. And I agree with Pinky, you have some core networking and you have some extended networking. But within that, yes, core networking happens with smile, etc. Extended one would be more, of the type, the rules she had mentioned. But basically, your networking would be one in most formal way and another in informal way. So my organization, I have observed that they really help us in this formal networking. In the sense, on one hand, when information really flows to us very automatically, there is a need felt always to discuss and confirm whether your point of view is really a time-tested one or a new one, something very novel, but it would be, you can make it work in the changing scenario and all such things. That means you come out with some point of view, but you want to test it, discuss it with colleagues. So for that purpose, we have very formal way of, having some kind of, we call them conferences. So various levels of conferences. We have some senior divisional managers conference, where all those who are on marketing side and in charge of our divisional offices from across the country, they all gather at one place for about 3 days, and there is a detailed interaction with those people of all head of the departments from corporate office. So then this is the first one incidence of to begin any particular financial year. And followed by, we have 8 zonal offices. So every zone will have these kind of conferences, then down the line again such meeting and so on. And this percolates up to our agents. We have agents conferences, we have, all such things. Then we have training centers across the country for sales training, for agents training, for our administrative staff, their training, and then management development center at one place where we and of course, we send our people. In my profile also, you must have read that I have attended programs at ISB. I had been to IIM Ahmedabad. I had been to NUS. So this is how organization encourages us to, first of all, update our knowledge, develop some networking, try and find out what is happening outside. I mean, not just within organization. So within organization through conferences and internal training program, and outside the organization through such sponsored programs. So this has helped me over the period to have this nice kind of networking. But this is what I narrated about formal networking. And in informal way, again, within organization, we have so many of us now, so many of us have reached that executive level, and we all have joined way back about 35 years ago. So as it is, you have developed a nice relation with all your colleagues, and then you seem to stay connected through, different groups. So those could be WhatsApp groups, or you would be connected through LinkedIn and other things. So basically within organization, WhatsApp groups are very common. These are very, very informal, but certain news items or certain developments get communicated very fast through these informal groups. So formal and informal, these two major networking ways I have found out, networking methods or types, I have found out that I was always part of it. This is apart from my personal networking, but that is more, with a group of friends or group of my family members or group of professionally qualified people, where I would try to know. Within industry also, such WhatsApp groups are there where I would try to know that all these days LIC was the leader, and now if somebody else has done something first before LIC has done it, especially in the field of, say, tax provisioning or GST, or some feedback for pre-budget discussion, or through life council, if we want to have some kind of communication or exchange of information. So outside organization also such kind of network is there. So this is what about types of network, and I had been part of it, and this has happened very naturally. I mean, without exerting myself. I'm trying to earlier we talked about mentorship and sponsorship and all that. I feel I have reached a stage where I should be mentoring someone.
Absolutely.
And I feel that also is a type of networking. So I felt like sharing it because as I said, when I passed final exams and started my career, I was not even aware of accounting standard. And today my people are like, so they have studied only accounting standards. And so exchange of fundamental accounting with accounting standards, I jokingly say my fundamental accounting is so strong that it would never go wrong. You have to just tell me which accounting standard is. And then together we can criticize IFRS, I jokingly tell them, because IFRS might be great, but in the insurance sector, it is really, so far we found it very difficult to implement. Yeah, because they are trying to, have some kind of actuarial science to be brought through accounts, and it's an easy thing. So it's just on lighter side, but this is another way of networking, that I'll stay connected with my juniors by being their mentor henceforth, because I've reached a level when I'll not be part of the organization, and still I would like to be part of it in some way or the other. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thanks, Subhangi. And I think this is very important. So generally they say that, I'm quite good at networking, but externally. So where it's clients and where it's people outside or events or organizing like CII. I was very frequently at CII, FICCI, many of the other events which are there, with organizations there. I keep attending all of that. You talk like Life Council, IBA, I quite attend all of those also. And then I found that somewhere internally, I'm not very strong at networking. So internally, you take for granted. I'm doing my work. Everyone can see I'm doing my work. The numbers speak for itself. But that's not true. It's such a large organization. Everyone is busy doing their own work. So where have they got the time to really see what you're doing? So you expect people to see what you're doing, but they're not seeing what you're doing. So you need to make yourself visible. You need to network internally. And that's what Subhangi really mentioned. And really something which I really have to work on. This is something which I have been trying to work on internally on myself also, to say that I need to network internally also. It's very important. So a network doesn't have to be only outside external networks. Of course, they are there. You have to do it. But there are networks internal also which you need to follow. And very important, within an organization, if you're working in this industry forum, it's so very important that you network within the organization also. And that's, I think, something which really would help you. And that's where your mentor or coach or sponsors come in the place where you really help you and push you through in that networking space. So wherever now I get the opportunity, I try and see how my team will be doing networking with other functions in the organization, other service lines in the organization. How do they go about in a network? So that's something which is very crucial, I feel, that we should not forget whenever we are in industry or in practice. External networking, client networking is of course required, but internal also is very much required. And then your personal network. You need to take out time for yourself also. I think all of us mentioned it, Aparajita mentioned it, Subhangi mentioned it, Pinky. Personal networks also very key and important. Your friends, your relations, you need to be connected to all of them. So all said and done, of course, we have 24 hours, but 24 hours is long. I mean, it's a number of hours is much more. If you really do it properly, balance things properly, we can do networking with all of this. Now, when we see that, networking has really given us importance, and we've seen that, it's given us benefits out of it. And Aparajita already mentioned that, women have come a long way. So the statistics now prove it that, women have actually come a long way, and there are much more women in workforce. So now when we look at the power of women, and Pinky, if I could request you to share some statistics on what Pinky has done research on to say, how many women entrepreneurs are there? I'll just share the screen. So over to you, Pinky.
So this was a research done by startuptalkie.com about the successful women entrepreneurs.india. But before reading this, I want to compliment here. Power of women at work can be seen here. Aparajita, Bahroze, Subhangi, and all my CA female means you can say all those who are attending. This is power of women at work, and of course myself. I don't want to exclude myself also. So this is power of women at work. And this is a survey which they had done. And according to them, 58% of the female entrepreneurs are in the range of 20 to 30 when they started out. So the early they start, that is why we can say now they are at this position, CFO of LIC. And here Aparajita is holding a very, means you can say prominent position in TCS, Bahroze, partner in Deloitte. So here what happens, this started at a very early age. So now, since I experimented a lot of things, I was in practice, I was in service also, CA consultancy firm. So I tried a lot of many things, but I cannot say that I am not successful. I know I am also successful. So here nearly 73% of them report a revenue of approximately rupees 10 lakhs in a financial year. So it's not like that they cannot earn. So I can share my experience when I cleared my CA. The first salary which I got was rupees 5,000. And it was, I was engaged in the merger of a firm, CA firm. So Kolkata, so here they mentioned, okay, we can give you this much only, but I never refused. I thought, no, I have to learn more and more. So salary was not a constraint. So apparently it may seem okay, very less salary, but of course you will get what you deserve. So at this stage, 10 lakhs, of course, it's a small amount right now, but of course you will definitely get what you dream of. But at the initial stage, you may not get. So it's everyone cannot be lucky like Subhangi. Okay, they are getting a break, but of course you will get what you want. Almost 57% of these women started out solo. Chal akela, chal akela. So tera mela chuta. So akela is in Bengali also. He akla chalo, akla chalo re. So here we don't. If you have that confidence in yourself, you can do it. So solo is the work, and 35% of women had a co-founder. Roughly 71% of the Indian female entrepreneurs employ 5 people or less. So it is like that ki a female, it's not like that. If I am successful, I will definitely make others successful. That is the giving nature. Like Shubhangi rightly said, she wants to become a mentor now. So of course, that is the nature of a female, warm, affectionate. It is natural, of course. But with that, a successful woman entrepreneur, she mixes intelligence and all the quotients so that she's now. So we can say a successful entrepreneur has got all these traits. She knows how to balance her energy. She strategically think how to use the time. So you can see. So of course, Bahroze, I want to show the concluding slide also,
Sure.
so that I can conclude from my side with the right quotes. So here, so I really, success isn't about how much money you will make. It's about the difference you make in people's life. That is networking. So here, you have to make a difference in order to have a difference in your life. And of course, we need to talk about women because this is International Women's Day again. So here, if a country want to progress, they need to take the women. When women progress, we all progress. So no country can get ahead when it leaves half its people behind. So I'm saying this why? Because you can see now equal, we can say gender equality. So we can see equality like Aparajita said, nearly 38% of the, the workforce comprises of women. In our academics also, I can see a lot of females, even professional females are entering because this is convenience. So you can see a lot of females entering in different areas of work. So now we cannot say, okay, the percentage is lesser now. So let's hold hands together and just walk towards the success, the path of success. Thanks a lot from my side.
Thank you, Pinky. And I can tell you something, you are very successful. So you don't have to say that if we have some designations, you're successful. Success has nothing to do with designations. Success is on the person itself. So you're very successful in your life. Aparajita, your thoughts on this?
Yes, I mean, I would say that everything has been said, but still I would like to just reiterate the similar things. Like, I believe it is important to network with an open mind. So it's not necessarily always with the purpose of how one can gain professionally from the interaction, because a good interaction helps all and friendships are nurtured. In fact, I have benefited from this myself. So I know it's, the professional benefits do come, but they may take some time. But the friendships are definitely built up very soon and they can be maintained. So it's actually one enriches oneself by networking, and as a person, that's very important. We cannot work in silos. So it's an exchange of ideas, and that is the only way I think we can grow. So what comes into my mind is a famous, I mean, as I'd mentioned, for American author Maya Angelou. She has, I mean, I like her quotes, and about what I think applies very well to networking is, I've learned that people forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I think this is very important, that for networking, we should really remember that. So as long as we remember that, I think we will get what we do, deserve.
Thanks, Aparajita. That was really nice. Shubhangi, what do you think of women in work and we can see you are a powerful woman at work. So I think you are an ideal inspiration for most of us over here.
Yeah, you want to know about power of women at work, no?
Yeah.
Yes. Within LIC, I can say a few things. Of course, Aparajita talked about TCS, they have got 38%. I just checked up for sake of this program. I checked up what is our women power here. We've got about less than 25% women, because it's across the country. In my department, I have more than 60% women, but across the country, it is just less than 25%. But you all are aware of it, that we had a few years ago 2 managing director women, ladies, and currently also one of our managing director is a woman. So many executive directors, along with me, there are so many ladies as executive directors. So women power, I can just again quote one, what I should say, my experience. I had been to this IIM Ahmedabad for some leadership program, and that was again a women specific program. And we were 4 of us from LIC, and there were many others from public sector, oil industry, I mean, especially GAIL and some such organizations. And then there were women from private sector. Basically, age group wise, we were little senior, because we reached that level in public sector only at senior age. And this private sector girls were relatively junior. And they were definitely talking about networking, and they found majority of this public sector executives very comfortable, very much at ease, very comfortable. So finally, they couldn't help themselves but ask us, do you have women specific policies? And our response was, they cannot chalk out a policy without taking women into consideration. Those many women are there in our organization. So somehow that's what I'm trying to say. And as Pinky rightly said, that I consider myself very fortunate, or I was fortunate. She said in the context of my deputation at NIA, but I feel, though I have throughout worked in this public sector organization, maybe the day I joined, I had some doubts in my mind whether after passing charter CA exam, am I doing a right thing to join public sector organization? Am I likely to continue? But finally, you know what happens in your personal life, you realize you are able to achieve that work-life balance if you continue here. And then organization is treating you really well. You don't have to struggle day in, day out for just proving that you're capable of handling things. So I continued and reached this level. As Pinky rightly pointed out, I started really early at the age of 23. After getting qualified, this was my first job. So you end up finally as executive director handling a lot of important jobs, which actually helps you inspire youngsters who have joined the organization and who have similar doubts whether I should continue or no. And then you are able to tell them that if you want to finally have this work-life balance, I agree that as chartered accountant today, probably the work may not give you that kind of job satisfaction, because you might be handling one part of the entire finance or accounts related activity. But over the period, you will know exactly where we stand, and you know the importance of the work you have done as junior officer, and as executive, you will be probably taking major decisions. So this role also I am able to play. One more thing is, I think yesterday, I'm really sorry, yesterday I couldn't come on that call, though we had planned. But about compliments, I received one one of my colleague or a junior person wrote a poem in which she talked about compliment, which normally probably as part of my routine activity I must be doing. So she wrote, On fashion and beauty, praises you love to shower. All these traits are genuine pearls of women power. I
Super.
think women have this ability to connect so easily that
Yes.
we are not misers in complimenting other people.
Complimentary.
And the compliment could be on your smile, it could be on the way you dress up, it could be the way you carry yourself, it could be the way Aparajita, covered everything, the entire gamut of, I should say, of that women power when she tried to cover women's strength in TCS and the kind of women specific things. Totally other side of the picture I had drawn, that we don't need anything women specific. She said, no, in private sector, yes, you do need women specific. So all these things, really we don't hesitate while complimenting the other person, and that's probably beauty of women power. And since that officer of mine, I mean, from my department, has got that skill of creative writing, she has written it so well.
Very nice.
I was very happy. I said she tried to give me those compliments, but basically I like the way she presented it.
Very nice. Correct.
For that, in small activities also, we are able to give that confidence to our people that we care for them, and we take all of them along, and then we try to achieve our goal. I mean, telling someone that whatever fashionable thing or some accessories she is wearing are good comes very naturally. We don't have to really exert ourselves.
Yeah.
But that gives her confidence that I don't go unnoticed. And then if you are telling the same person, no, I don't agree with the work you handled this way, you should have done it that way, she takes it equally positively, that what madam meant was about work and not about me as person. And that finally, as leader, as woman in power, helps you to take all of them together and achieve the goal. So women, power of women at work is really something one can have research study done. Women are handling these jobs really well.
Absolutely. I completely agree with it. I completely agree. And even in professional firms, what you've seen, and Shruti was a chairperson of the WRC. That itself shows women at our institute. And what she mentioned is now we have 27% chartered accountants who are women. But more than that, the 42% of the students are women chartered accountants who are studying for CA. So you can imagine the change that's going to come going forward, that, we have so many students who are actually studying CA. And even in professional firms in our organization, what we've seen is that at the entry level up to AMDMs, it's nearly 45-50% is women and men. So there's nearly similar. It's not something which is different. However, post manager, we've seen that the women start dropping. Manager, senior manager, something where we really see a stark reduction in women. And that's also natural because we get married, we have children. So we need to take a back seat. So there's nothing wrong in taking a back seat at that point of time. But now I think organizations are doing much more to see how you can come back. So whoever employees are there, like Aparajita mentioned, TCS, you have this reorientation programs for women who've taken long leaves. Similar things are happening in professional firms also. Everyone are trying to see how you can get more women at the senior levels. Though presently, I think number-wise, whether it's a Deloitte survey which was done, whether you see women in boardrooms, they're hardly 10% or lesser. Women CEOs are much lesser as compared to women chairpersons which are there at boards, listed companies. They're also much lesser, around 20%, 18%, 10%. So at senior levels, we see women which are less. But I think that's changing. And that you can see the change from what Subhangi mentioned. When you have fresh chartered accountants are coming in, those women, they know exactly what they want. They're so very focused on it, and they know what is there and how to reach to that level also. So I think in the next 10 years time period, I think this percentages will change and we'll see much more women at senior leadership as compared to what we're seeing already now. Now also, I think there are many women at senior leadership. But going forward, I think these discussions will not be happening in such a level. So I had a small video which I wanted to show, and I know we're running out of time, so I'll show the last video now, though I had kept that video optional. And the second video which I wanted to show was on the pay cut. I mean, everyone said pay is equal, but world over, it's been discussed that women get lesser paid as compared to men. And it's for us women to see how we can do networking. How do we see that, this sort of a gap is not there anymore. Though they say it's going to take another 20, 45 women will be equal to men in pays. It is for us women that we ensure that, we get to that level faster, though it's improving. I just want to show now and last this, and sorry, I'm not advertising for that company at all. It's just a very fantastic video I found on International Women's Day, and I thought I should share that. I'm not sure whether it's the right one, but I'm just sharing my screen and, oh God. Can you all see my screen?
तुझे पता है इस इंडस्ट्री का सीन यार, मैंने अपने राइजिंग करियर के टाइम पे शादी की थी. नाउ यू नो मुझे कैसे असाइनमेंट्स मिल रहे हैं. आई एम नॉट रेडी फॉर दिस. ये प्रेगनेंसी ना मेरा मॉडलिंग करियर खत्म कर देगी. अच्छा लिसन, आई विल कॉल यू बैक लेटर. ओके बाय.
मैम मैं उठा के देती हूँ. ये लीजिए मैम. बच्चे के तलवे पर ना मालिश कर देना, चुप हो जाएगा. मेरे बच्चे भी रोते ना तो मैं ऐसे ही करती, चुप हो जाता है.
अच्छा, कितने बच्चे हैं आपके?
3.
तो ड्यूटी के साथ साथ कैसे मैनेज किया?
मैनेज का क्या है, 10 घंटा यहाँ पे ड्यूटी खत्म करने के बाद बाकी माँ होने का ड्यूटी. मैम
ये डबल ड्यूटी करते करते जो लाइफ में पीछे रह गई हो, उसका क्या?
आपके हिसाब से आगे रहना किसको बोलते हैं मालूम नहीं, पर मेरे बच्चों के हिसाब से ना मैं हमेशा ही आगे हूँ.
So sweet. अच्छा तुम बताओ, तुम तो पढ़ी लिखी लगती हो और यहाँ तो मैं कोई जज करने वाला भी नहीं है. सच बताना, जब से बच्चा तुम्हारी गोद में आया है, तुम माँ बनी हो, तुम्हें नहीं लगता तुम्हारी फ्रीडम, तुम्हारे अपने सपने, इंडिविजुअलिटी सब खत्म हो गई?
नहीं, इनफैक्ट जब से मेरी जिंदगी में आई है ना, मेरी फ्रीडम, मेरी इंडिविजुअलिटी, मेरी पहचान को जैसे एक और पहचान मिल गई है, माँ की.
आसान है तुम्हारे लिए ये सब फिल्मी बातें कहना. हाउसवाइफ हो ना, अगर एक बार भी लाइफ और वर्क बैलेंस करना पड़ जाए तो तुम्हें दुनियादारी समझ आ जाएगी.
आसान नहीं था इस नन्ही से शैतान के साथ साथ इस पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को संभालना. ये बस नजरिए की बात है.
मैम गाड़ी आ गई है.
मैम, यू आर सीमा रस्तोगी, SSP झांसी.
I just wanted to end the session by saying that woman power. I mean, every woman, this thing keeps coming. I know it's not part of networking session and this is not something which you're going to discuss today and it's not something we're discussing also. It's a whole different topic for discussion. But I think women should be very clear that, certain things in life, you've got to do it. And it's the most beautiful things in life. There's nothing, no compulsion. It's the most beautiful thing in life to be a mother. Don't sacrifice your motherhood for career. I don't think it's mutually exclusive. You can do both together and be the woman at power. So last words, anything, Aparajita, Pinky, Subhangi, anyone else also who wishes to add? Aparajita, any last 1 word, 2 words, whatever you wish to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think we should just keep on doing the networking. And I fully agree to what you said. These are not exclusive. It's only at certain times when motherhood takes a front seat, and at other times it's career which takes a front seat. But they definitely, for both, we do, they are both in their own rightful places. So it's not one or the other, it's and both together.
Good. Thanks. Pinky, your thoughts on it, the last
I
words
can
on it.
say we should accept whatever comes in our life in a positive manner, motherhood, career, and if we accept it in a positive manner, in a welcoming manner, we'll definitely succeed in our life.
Thank you. Subhangi?
Yeah, first of all, I must compliment you for such a beautiful video you have shown. I mean, it really talks about women power, that you can definitely achieve work-life balance. And the two things I would like to say, since we are talking about networking, when you have children, actually, it helps you network. The informal one when children are young, and later on when you are out of, like I might retire, but I'll still stay connected, because my son, my daughter-in-law, they are also chartered accountants. They are doing the networking, and they would never ignore me. They'll always, they'll try to make me also part of their network. So when there are children, when there is next generation, you stay more connected to new developments, and my knowledge would not become outdated at any point of time. Both of them, of course, are in GST, and I get up-to-date information about all developments in GST. Though my daughter has selected altogether different line, and she is into graphic designing, but that gives me idea about different perspective of looking at life, because she's more into creativity. Basically, what I want to say is, children help you stay connected to the next generation, and we would never become, our knowledge and other things won't be outdated. One more thing, if there are youngsters in this program, they must know that children respect working mother really all the more, because they have seen our struggle, that period when we were trying to really balance, work on home front and office front, and taking care of their studies and not to miss out on other things. All those things they have seen, and they have learned to respect their mothers, of course, along with the father, definitely. Without the support, it is difficult to take care of all these things. So
Absolutely.
Good that you showed this video, though it was not directly connected with network. It helps us further, extend this network thing.
Yeah, it was women power of women. So imagine she's heading that whole district, and it was so nice to see that. So we are through with our discussions today, and we hand it over back again. So any questions you all have, please post it on the chat box, and we'll be happy to look at it. And we hand over now to Mrs. Kapoor, or I don't know whether Mrs. Kapoor is still there. Bela, if anyone wants to say anything, Bela, do you wish to add something? Anyone can share. We have 10 minutes time before we end this. Reena, Bela, whoever wishes to talk. Vandana was there at our session in 2019. We had a similar session, and Vandana also was part of that session discussion. Bela, would you like to add something?
Yes, of course. First of all, I should take this opportunity to thank WIIC, ICI, that I could meet all these wonderful learned ladies. Women power to all of us.
Thank you.
The networking, yes, networking is the need of the art. And I think networking to me is like you approach the people with honesty, transparency, sharing of knowledge, sharing of ideas, getting of knowledge. That is the main thing. And you do it with your heart, the people, you will reach to the people.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Reena has raised a hand. Reena, would you like to say something? You can put your video on. If it's feasible, Reena, you can put your video on.
Bahroze, you remembered me, and you showed the last video, and you are so sentimentally attached with that video. I could see the tears in your eyes, I wanted to, और उसी time में मेरा एक phone आ गया, so I could, you were, remembering me. I felt so. See, basically, as a female, सब लोग emotional होते हैं, but कितना touchy था. See, आप white collar job कर रहे हो या आप कोई भी job कर रहे हो, आप अपने बलबूते पे काम कर रहे हो ना, वो ज्यादा मायने रखता है.
Yes.
The important part of the life is that you are on your own feet, and you have created your own empire. मतलब वो तो अपने अंदर काबिलियत तो create करनी ही है. And आज का ये networking का session, I mean, it was awesome. All the speakers, there is no doubt about it. And moderator was बोल रहा है एकदम सोने पे सुहागा.
Thank you, Vandana. You're very sweet.
Doing the things, you know, क्या होता है, boring हो जाता है. जैसे पिंकी ने बोला, Pinky mentioned in her session very categorically कि कोई बोले जा रहा है. People get bored. And in Zoom तो आधे लोग तो off करके सच्ची में तुम्हारे साथ connected है कि नहीं वो भी पता नहीं चलता है. At times it is really taxing कि हम दीवार से तो बात नहीं कर रहे हैं ना.
Correct.
But in and all, it was a very lengthy session, but it was very informative session. And you बोलते ना वो माड़ा मस्त गुत्थी ने राखी थी. You did it so well.
Okay, thank you.
माड़ा में परो हुआ था व्यवस्थित.
Right. They are gems. मैंने तो उनको सिर्फ ये करके रखा हुआ था.
Yes, each one of them. Subhangi अपने आप में, I mean, very crisp, but very to the point, you know.
Yes, very nice. So Reena wanted to say something.
Yes, over to Reena.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thanks for a nice session, and it was really very nice organization and nicely organized, and really great to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I would also like to request, Subhangi ma'am said she is ready to mentor if given the opportunity. If people like them can share the detailed LinkedIn ID or email ID or phone number, so that I don't know how many other people are joining. They are very less, but people can connect for those opportunities. Thank you.
See, I think all of us are on LinkedIn. So if you connect on LinkedIn, then maybe we will be able to connect. But from here, I don't think we'll be able to connect from this Zoom session. I think you'll have to separately send and connect invite on the LinkedIn to do the connection.
We can share the link of the LinkedIn in the chat.
If you go searching, you'll get it. I think all of us will be there. I think so. I think all of us should be there. If you just search on that, Reena, you will be getting all of us there.
We'll do that. Thank you, ma'am.
खाली नाम पता होना चाहिए. Reena has already shared her LinkedIn profile. I have also mentioned there in the Zoom chat. So anybody can just click on it or just copy it on their WhatsApp or whatever, web WhatsApp. And I and Bahroze already connected.
Yeah.
Chalo there.
Okay.
President meet is there na at 5:30 at Yogi Sabha Group.
Acha.
ICI president is coming, no?
11th. Correct. Yeah. Murtuza is having a meeting over there.
Yes, there, 5:30.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not attending that in physical, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. I think we can end the session today. I don't know who from WRC is going to be there, but I think they may have all gone for that session at this. I will take the honors to thank each and every speaker. Thank you so much, Pinky, Aparajita, and Subhangi for taking time and being so thorough. I mean, we women, I can tell you this, I do a lot of panel moderation, but women, we take things so very seriously. We put in so much of our efforts. We discuss things and we do it. I think it's meticulously done. So thank you so much for all your time and efforts that you spent and for being here today and sharing your experience with all of us. Thank you.
Bahroze, I will add to it because what you said makes sense. ये अगर 1 घंटे का भी session है ना, they will put 10 hours. They will not just do ऊपर से. That is the best part of the female.
Yes.
That is how we stand out.
Also, and thanks to Vandana for being a very good audience.
Yes, thank you.
अपराजिता का नाम मेरे पास वो नहीं है, कांटेक्ट नहीं है, क्योंकि वो तो नाम ही ऐसा है अपराजित, उसको कोई जीत सकता है.
I'll put it in the chat box. I can put it in the chat box.
I'll just copy it out. Yeah.
So there's a chat also by Sarika. Sarika, if you want to do your video on, you can do it, please.
I'll put my phone number there. So I think that should be fine.
Anyone who wants to speak can put on your video and, unmute yourself and speak. We have another 4 minutes left and then we close the session. Subhangi, anyone? I saw some chat coming in. I don't know whose was it. Sarika.
वही आपके बारे में ही है. Choice of videos were amazing,
Yes. I see 2 more videos which I didn't show because of shortage of time.
हाँ तो मुझे WhatsApp पे डाल देना. WhatsApp पे डाल देना ना मुझे. फिर then I will circulate it.
Okay.
सच्ची में it was worth spreading to the others also. Those who missed the today's session,
Okay. Fine. Yeah.
So here goes Aparajita. Copy message.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Shubhangi. Thank you for taking your time and sharing all your experiences. It was very good. You're very inspiring. I think all of you are very inspiring. Aparajita, Pinky, you all are really truly inspiring. And I was blessed to be a moderator for this session. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot
Thank
to
you.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.